Hello, everyone. You're welcome. You're welcome. And people are still joining in. So you're welcome. All right. Welcome to Data Science in a Day, everybody. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to have you all join here. Um, if you know, for some of you have indicated that you have someone that you would like to share with, I'm going to share, let's share the link again with you so you can, share with some people to join in directly into the meeting. I hope people can hear me. Can you all hear me? Tammy, can you hear me? Hello, can somebody hear me at all? Awesome. I can see Samuel. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. It's going to be a wonderful time, I assure you. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Kedrus Academy. Um, Hi, Tammy. Could you share the link in the chat so that people can still join in?
Absolutely.
They
Okay,
can
I'm
share
going to
with their
share
loved
the
ones.
link. I'm going to share the link right
Yes,
now.
this one. Yes, the live link is different from the previous link we shared earlier. The previous link takes people to register. So now that the meeting have started, there's a different link. So we had to retrieve that. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I'm happy to see there are some people I'm seeing for the very first time. There are some other people that, of course, we've been family here at Kedrus Academy. I'm happy to see Gwenga. I think I've spoken with Gwenga sometime before now. Hi, Gwenga. I can see Agabus Agboye. Hi Agabus. Good morning to you. To some people, if I'm unable to see your name, don't worry. I'll still come back to you, right? I can see Aminat. I can see Asita F. Young. I can see Babatunde. I can see Bolale Charles, Christiana. I can see Daniel Israel. You're welcome to Kedrus Academy. Joseph, good morning and welcome. Hi, Obi. Um, I don't know if you're the OB I know or you're a new OB to Kedrus Academy, but I think we have about two OBs here at Kedrus Academy. From Nigeria and from the UK, whichever one, right? Thank you for joining. Hi, Olubumi. You're welcome. Olukemi. You all are welcome to Kedros Academy. You're welcome. Thank you for making our time to join us morning. Um, yes, Oluwabunmi, Omolola, Solomon Onwuka, yeah, Paul Idumo, right, Prince of Ubo, our alumni. We are happy to have you here, Ruth Thompson alumni. Oh, thank you for joining. Samuel Boniface, Stephen, you all are welcome. And the Kedros Academy team here with me, I have Toba, the almighty Toba, the amazing Toba. I have Tammy, the sweet and wonderful Tammy. I have Christine, the patient Christine. I have Bolale. Those are the Kedros Academy team members here. Please, can we clap for ourselves for joining? You made our time this morning. Please just clap for yourself. You can use the React um icon there and to clap. Celebrate yourself for making our time. Yes, yes, you're welcome. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about myself, right? Yes, so I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself, tell you guys a little bit about my story before our first speaker will take up the stage. So I'm Stella Justin. If you're joining us for the first time, if you're meeting me for the first time, would you mind waving your hand? If you're meeting Stella for the very first time, if you're seeing this face, right? Oh, amazing. Amazing. There are people that really see me for the very first time. Amazing, amazing. Oh, I'm impressed. That's great. That's great. Wow, a good number of people here are seeing my wonderful, beautiful face the very first time. I'm so happy to meet you all. In fact, you're my special guest for today, right? I celebrate you. Thank you so much. Okay, so because you're meeting me for the very first time, so it's very necessary I tell you a bit about myself. My name is Stella Justin. I'm the lead instructor at Kedrus Academy, right? You may be wondering who is this Stella, right? Okay, someone said yes, except for LinkedIn. Oh, amazing. Yes. All right. So, my name is Stella Justin once again. Let me tell you a little bit about my story. I was that young undergraduate in UNN who really aspired to become a lecturer. Yes, I really, really aspire to become a lecturer because to me, I was already in the education field. I had flair for education. I started teaching properly in 2011. Yes, in Lagos. But then I decided to go for education economics in UNN. And getting there, what stood out for me, what seemed to be like the peak, because I'd grown up learning, right? The foundation of my upbringing was that whatever is worth doing well. Yes, please, you're going to share recording. It's recording already. Yes. Whatever is worth doing at all in life, I believe that it's worth doing well. And whichever career path I choose, I want to get to the pinnacle of that. I want to get to the apex. So as a young educationist, I wanted to become a lecturer, become a professor, right? You know what it means in the university setting. I started by teaching in a private school in Lagos. I didn't want to go back teaching in a private school. I wanted to just be a lecturer. So when I got into the university, I think I had wisdom enough to observe the system. I realized that in the department, right, I had courses, most of my courses in the Department of Economics and the Department of Social Science Education. Now, more we okay, please, if you have a question, please drop on the chat. My other team members will attend. I think I saw a message pop up. All right, so yes, in coming into UNN, I tried to observe the system. I realized I had very young, smart, intelligent lecturers, very, very young people in their 20s doing fantastic job. And then I reached out to a couple of them, like, hi, Miss Chisom, how you doing? How did you get here? How did you start lecturing at a very young age? And then she told me something, well, I was the best graduating in my class, so I had to get retained, and that is why I'm here. I'm processing my master's in Canada and the rest and the rest. And she's obviously in Canada now with her family. She's there as a citizen. So many other lecturers like that. So it grew this aspiration in me, like, okay, I want to be like this kind of people, young, aspiring to doing amazing things, starting out early. So it really inspired me to focus on my studies. So I asked them, one of two criteria is that you either make a first class, or even if you don't make it first class, if you become the best graduating in your department. I said, okay, that's a good competition, bring it on. Right? I don't know if there's anybody that can relate. So I actually did put in my best. So I had that myself. Okay, let me put in my best. Maybe if I become a lecturer, I can start by becoming a lecturer. I really aspired for it, and I really worked hard towards it. In fact, it looked so impossible because for those of us in education economics, that there was no one that had, been able to make that first class. But I took it up as a challenge from my first year. Of course, I was highly involved with other extracurricular activities, but then at the end of the day, I was able to bag the first class. Now, the journey towards the first class was something else. There were so many other things that I got exposed to. One of them was academic research. Yeah, so in our third year, we got exposed to academic research. Um, and for economics, we did econometrics and a lot of e-views and data practicals in class for, time series analysis and all of those things. But back in education, we did a lot of SPSS, right? Because of course, we're doing primary data analysis here, right? We'll take surveys, and while in economics, we're doing secondary. So I was exposed to all of those things. But then I discovered that a lot of people were finding it difficult in my class. My classmates they were not finding the classes funny at all. Why would they have to come to class with their laptop? Why must they do this analysis? It was a very difficult thing for my classmates. It was very, very challenging. So I took it up upon myself, as I've always done, to learn for the help of the class. So we started by organizing free tutorials in class. Everybody joins in and we practice and practice and practice. That is how I began to gain mastery. Eventually, some of my lecturers noticed as, okay, Stella, we can provide you with more resources since you're helping out with the class, you know, and provide you with more softwares, more resources, more of this, more of that. And that was how, I became so good with academic research that by the time I was graduating, right, I was doing PhD thesis. Yes, yes, yes. In fact, my supervisor of blessed memory, unfortunately, he's late, right? All the analytics part of his project, his PhD thesis, I worked on it. He literally gave me, then he will supervise, he will make correction and say, go back and work on this. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're, that level of trust and experience. So as I was finishing, right, rounding off even my lecturers, everybody could not wait to have Stella back in the department as a lecturer. I was able to make first class and I was the best graduating, and everybody was like, okay, Stella is coming back. And yes, I felt I was coming back, right? But coming out of school, serving and seeing the world better, I was able to observe what was going on better. I realized that wait. There is something beyond academics. There is something, you know, there's something about data science, you know, that is beyond academics. Um, it was then, I began to realize that for developed nations like like UK, USA, and other for European countries, I realized that, you know, data literacy was growing at a very high rate, right, compared to how it is in Africa and especially Nigeria. In fact, let's even not talk about data literacy. Let's talk about digital literacy. Lots of people don't even have access to, so many families don't have access to even a single laptop, even as we speak right now. So, and then there were these opportunities I saw Microsoft trying to empower more people to come into this field, Amazon doing the same thing, Oracle trying to offer people training. Then I just all of a sudden realized, wait, there is something happening here, right? There is a field, there is an opportunity, a global opportunity. There's an opportunity for global competitiveness that is beyond the four walls of the university. um it wasn't easy, but I had to take that decision to, okay, let me even try this. Let me try this part and see what is obtainable, right? So I started out with an internship with a Microsoft partner company in Lagos, Microsoft Cloud Gold partner to be precise. And after my 6 months in internship with them, I realized I've learned a lot. And being a partner organization to Microsoft, right? It's different from maybe you're working for a particular business like a bank or a company directly, right? If you're working for a tech company like that, you're literally providing solutions to lots and lots and lots of companies. So um, I was opportune to work with a team. In my team, we had a data engineer, we have a data scientist, we have data analyst, we have different people, different specialties. And what were we doing? We were deploying data solutions for banks, right? Precisely the bank headquarters, all the bank headquarters. In fact, all the data teams for banks are situated in their headquarters, right? Even for oil firms and the rest, oil and gas, they are situated in all the headquarters because, data drives decision making. So, but then there were no enough people working as data analysts for most of these companies. So they outsourced to tech companies like the company where I was working with at Lotus Beta, and we're able to deploy lots and lots of data solutions, data engineering solutions for the likes of MTN Nigeria, for the likes of Paralex Bank. By the time Paralex Bank was transitioning from microfinance, I don't know if you know Paralex Bank, from microfinance bank to a commercial bank proper, you know, I was actually the one that deployed the whole data warehousing architecture. Yes, for them. Yeah. So they had to outsource some of those roles. We did their whole data engineering, data science for the likes of Meristem, if you know Meristem, for the likes of Nessal Microfinance. I remember during the pandemic, the federal government appointed Nessal to, distribute loans and all of those things. The whole cloud data infrastructure that was powering the back end of those loan applications, right? We were really handling all of those. And so it exposed me to a whole lot of, opportunities to learn on the job. And beyond that, the aspect of training too. So we ended up will deploy for these businesses and then we'll train their staffs to be able to, run the systems and all of those things. So we beyond building solutions, we're training, right? And I was able to, handle in a day programs like this for Microsoft. So if you know Microsoft very well, they have a lot of in a day program. In fact, the data science in a day is more like a Microsoft idea because we have dashboard in a day, we have modern Excel analysis in a day, we have robotics in a day. Most of those programs, you just attend some hours and they give you a lot of, exposure to the field that is enough to get you started. So this is why we are here. So eventually, at some point in 2022, I backed out of, you know, the Microsoft partner organization, right? Decided to help in the data literacy in Nigeria, help as lend my voice, try to see what I can do because the gap is actually too much compared to other countries of the world. And that is why people leave the country, they go out there, they're unable to, land good jobs. They do a lot of menial works trying to survive because they're not empowered right here. Okay, but then I remember also working with Lotus, most of the interns that came in because I actually eventually grew to become the team lead. Yes, it took some years, but yes, I eventually grew to senior data scientist to become the team lead for data and AI and all of those things. And most of the people that came in as my interns that we worked with on the team, at some point with their experience, they'll leave this country. In fact, most of them, there's no single one of them that is in Nigeria as we speak, and they are all working with big tech companies in UK and Canada, right? And it's just for you to know that there is massive opportunity here in data, and it's something that even as we speak, right, Nigeria as a country does not have enough talent that has skilled in this area to handle this, right? And beyond Nigeria, it is something that is globally acceptable. So I decided to try this part, and then we started Kedrus Academy. Yeah, had a co-founder. We co-founded Kedrus Academy, and this is where we are training, empowering lives since 2022 till date. This is November is going to be 2 years, yes, of training people, empowering people that have, taken over industries, right? In a session, after our first speaker, I'm going to show you where some of our previous students work, what they do, and some of those things, right? So that you'd see that, well, joining today's class is actually worth your time. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and I'm going to invite our own one and only Tammy. Hi, Tammy. Are you here with us?
Hello, Mastella. Good morning. I'm here. Can everybody
Good.
hear me properly?
y- Yes, Tammy, we can hear you.
Okay, I've been trying
So
to set up
Tammy is
my
going to take,
I've
okay,
been trying to
go
set up my
on.
camera, but it's not been working. I apologize. It's not
It's
working
fine.
properly. Yes.
Yeah,
But
it's fine.
yes. So the first thing on our agenda is to give a brief introduction of data science, which is what I will
Yeah.
be doing, what I'll be taking. I'm sharing my screen. If we can see my
Mm.
screen, please can we just indicate that we can see
Yes,
my
please.
screen?
We can see the screen.
Oh,
Okay, please. I think some of us, our hands are still raised. Could you mind dropping your hand so that we know? Um, yes. So that when we ask a question again, we'll be able to. All right. Over to you, Tammy. Thank
okay.
you.
So today we are attending our data science and machine learning in a day 3 hour webinar training, whichever one you want to call it. So I'm going to start with who is a data scientist? A data scientist is a professional who uses statistical programming and domain expertise to extract meaningful insights from data. They help organizations make data-driven decisions by analyzing large data sets and identifying patterns and trends. There's a question that people ask, what's the difference between data analysis and data science? Data analysis asks, oh, this thing happened. We want to know how it happened, why it happened. But data science, what data science asks is, okay, as this thing happened, what will happen again because of all these things that we know? And a data scientist is basically somebody who just practices data science. We use statistics, we use programming to extract meaningful insights, to understand what our data is trying to tell us. And by understanding our data, we can then make decisions. we can identify patterns, we can identify trends to help make future decisions that will help whatever organization we are working in. Because we can work in data scientists work in retail, they work in academia, they work for the government. So it's basically just extracting and understanding information gotten from data to identify patterns and trends that can help us to make data-driven decisions. What does a data scientist do? Data scientists perform a variety of tasks, including data collection and cleaning, data analysis and modeling, predictive modeling, data visualization, and business intelligence. The data scientist is going to collect the data from various sources because your data has to be very diverse for you to get proper information, for you to have a good model. Your data has to be as diverse as possible to reduce bias. So data scientists, we are all data scientists. I'm a data scientist. We gather relevant data and then we prepare it because unclean data is going to give us skewed or biased results. So we prepare it, we analyze it through statistical means or through machine learning techniques. We uncover patterns. We do something called modeling, where we are applying machine learning techniques to uncover patterns, trends, and correlations within data. Then we do predictive modeling. Remember, I mentioned data science is asked, okay, because these things have happened a particular way, what will now happen in the future? How is it going to affect the future? If 1 plus 1 equals to 2, in the future, will it continue being 2? So we do predictive modeling. We develop models that can predict future outcomes based on historical data. We do data visualization because there's one thing to know what your data is saying, there's one thing to know what you're trying to predict, and there's another, and communicating it is another thing. So as a data scientist, you must know how to visualize your data to effectively communicate your findings. And then we also do business intelligence. We provide insight to support strategic decision making. All we're doing is to just help whatever organization we're working for to provide to get good data-driven decisions. Where do they work? Data scientists work in diverse industries such as technology, finance, healthcare, retail, government, and academia. They can be found in small startups, large corporations, research institutions, and non-profits. Their work environment typically includes access to powerful computers, high-speed internet, and specialized software for data analysis. Data scientists, every industry needs a data scientist. Every industry needs a machine learning engineer. Whether it be a tech industry, a finance industry, like Marcella mentioned, she was working for most bank headquarters were using her services. In healthcare, you need data science in healthcare. You need to know, okay, if we have a group of people, what are the chances that this person is going to develop this sickness in the future? That's what data science will answer. That's what data science helps us know in healthcare, can help us in retail. Um, is this customer going to buy this product? Should we advertise this product for this customer? What are the chances that this customer or customers from this particular city want to buy this product? There's data science in government and there's data science in academia. Personally, I want to go into data science in academia, machine learning in academia to help us, just to help the industry build, to help tech build, to help innovation build. Because with data science and with machine learning, everything, you don't need to go through a process a million times. You don't need to do trial and error 1 million times. Once we put all our data, all our findings into our model, it will predict this for us. Okay, this one will work this way. This one won't work this way. Data scientists can be found in small startups, large corporations, research institutions, and non-profits. Data scientists are everywhere. They are everywhere and they are needed everywhere. It is a very, very, it is utilized in various industries. Their work environment typically includes access to powerful computers, high-speed internet, and specialized software for data analysis and data science. What's a tech person without their internet, without their computer, without their software? So once you're a data scientist, you will be a tech guru. You will know how to use your computers. Your internet needs to be fast, and you will know how to use various softwares. What skills do they have? Data scientists possess a diverse set of skills, including technical skills, domain knowledge, problem solving, communication, and creativity. Technical skills. As a data scientist, you need to know your languages, especially Python and SQL, or Python, R, and SQL. Those are the languages used for machine learning and data science. Although they are low code, no code platforms that you can use to practice data sciences, but you still need to possess these skills. Like you need to possess your programming languages skills, you need to possess your technical skills. And in the programming languages, you need to know algorithms for machine learning. Specifically, you need to know your algorithms for machine learning, for statistical analysis, for data visualization. Yes, you can create graphs in Python. Then you also need to know have other data visualization tools that are not just based on programming languages like Tableau, like Power BI maybe, but like Tableau and Power BI. Domain knowledge. You need to understand the industry or field you are working in. A data scientist that primarily works in finance may not be the best option, may not be the best candidate for for a um for a healthcare industry or a healthcare company that needs a data scientist. Because in as much as you're a data scientist in the broad sense, you still need to know exactly what you want to specialize in, what industry you want to work in. Problem solving. As a data scientist, as a tech person in general, you need to be able to identify and solve complex problems using data-driven approaches. That's one of the main skills every tech person, every data scientist needs to have. You need to be a good problem solver. You need to be a calm, patient problem solver. And you need to be able to communicate. There's one thing to know, there's another thing to tell people what you know. It's another thing to communicate what you know. Effective communication skills are key to conveying your findings to both technical and non-technical audiences. As a data scientist, you need to be able to tell a layperson, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is what I did. And you also need to be able to tell people that understand what you're doing already, that already have knowledge of what you're doing, what you did. And creativity, imagination to explore new ways of using data to generate insights. This also leads to problem solving. To be a problem solver, you must be creative. It's not creativity as in you must draw or you must make music. No, you must be creative. You must have a large imagination. You must be willing to try different things, to want to put different things together to get your answer. Which companies employ data scientists? Some of the top companies that employ data scientists globally include tech giants like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple. We can even include Uber, Bolt, because yes, Uber and Bolt need data scientists to be able to know know to be able to for price selection, for cost selection, to be able to link customers to drivers, they need data scientists. Financial institutions like JP Morgan, Chase, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, healthcare companies like Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson, Novartis, Roche. They need to what how machine learning can come into healthcare companies can be just like I said in research for academia for research. You don't need to do a million tries, especially now that the world needs innovation to be faster, to be bigger and faster. You don't need a million tries. You can perform a machine learning model, can tune your hyperparameters, you can tune your data set. Okay, if we put this, and this, how will it come out? How will this drug come out? Would this drug work for people that have this particular illness? Okay, people that have some genetic illnesses or or are predisposed to some certain illnesses, if you give them this drug, will it have an adverse effect? Those are the kind of things that machine learning can help us answer in healthcare companies. In retail, in retailing companies employ data scientists like Walmart, Target, Amazon, eBay. You know all these recommendations you get, like when you want to open you open Jumia, or even when you open maybe Instagram or Facebook, and they're recommending things for you to buy, or they're recommending ads for you, or maybe TikTok, they're recommending so many things. That's data science. You know, sometimes we can search for something on Google Chrome, and then before you know, we've opened Instagram and we're seeing that thing. We're like, how is this possible? It's all data science. Data science is used for recommendation in retailing companies. They can say, okay, we want to stock up our stores in different cities. What products should we put in all these cities? The products you will put in Port Harcourt is not the same products you will put in Lagos, because customers from Port Harcourt and customers from Lagos don't have the same wants, and they don't have the same needs. So that's an example of why we need data scientists even in retailing companies. Those consulting firms also hire data scientists like BCG, Deloitte, Bain, McKinsey, and PwC, different consulting firms. So data scientists are needed everywhere in diverse industries globally. They are needed everywhere to help innovation and to help decision making for business. What kind of life are they able to afford? They make money. In conclusion, just know that they make money. The salary and lifestyle of a data scientist can vary significantly depending on factors such as experience, location, company size, and industry. However, data science is a real well-paying profession, and many data scientists enjoy a comfortable lifestyle. Data scientists typically earn competitive salaries. In the United States, the average salary for a data scientist is around $108,659 a year. That is average, oh. That's not the highest. This allows them to afford a comfortable lifestyle, including housing, travel, and other amenities. The high demand for their skills also provides job security and opportunities for career advancement. So data scientists make money. And because they're in high demand, you will almost likely get a job. You will always you There's always something somewhere for you that you can do, that you can apply your skills into. And because you have this skill, that's job security, a skill that's in demand equals to automatic job security. And there's always opportunities for career advancement. Just because you just learnt it now does not mean in the next 1 year you will not go far. No, there's opportunities for career advancement because the skill is in demand. The skill is needed, is still needed, is needed now, and it will still be needed in 5 years' time. Because the world will always need innovation. The world will always need to understand why trends happen, why things happen, and what those trends and patterns are trying to tell us. What countries are most favorable to data scientists? Countries with strong tech industries and high demand for data science skills are particularly favorable, including the United States, Canada, the UK, Germany, and Australia. All these countries, they already have budding tech industries. They're always looking to innovate new things. Nigeria can be part of this country, part of these countries. We're getting there. But once any country that has a good tech industry, that has value for innovation, your skills are going to be in high demand there. They will always be in high demand in any country that has good tech industries. What is a good place to start? Learning the fundamentals, that is acquiring a strong foundation in statistics, programming, and machine learning. You need to learn the fundamentals. In as much as you want to start, Basic knowledge is all you need, really. Basic knowledge and practice. Basic knowledge and practice and determination and passion. You need to know that this is what you want to do. You can because before you start and you will just stop. You need to know the fundamentals and be determined that this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I need to know why you want to do it. So you need to learn the fundamentals. You take online courses from platforms like Coursera, edX, and Data Camp that offer a wide range of data science courses because there's courses everywhere for you. Even on YouTube, you will find data science courses. If you don't know where to start, sometimes just start from YouTube. If you've already started and you need more practice, go to YouTube. You will see resources there. Work on personal projects. Apply your skills to real world problems to gain practical experience. Expand your portfolio. Nobody is going to know you're doing data science if you don't have a portfolio to share. If you just learn it and you're not applying it, if you just learn it and you're not applying it to personal projects. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Okay, okay. If you're not if you just learn and you don't apply your skills to real world problems to gain practical experience, there's no way you're going to develop yourself. There's no way you develop yourself. Contribute to open source projects. There are open source projects everywhere. Collaborate with other data scientists and contribute to open source initiatives. Then network. Build relationships with other professionals in the field. In fact, we're at Kedrus Academy, a very good place to start your data science and machine learning journey. It's from Kedrus Academy. We're the best out there. I'm not just saying it because I work for them. I learned data science with Kedrus Academy. They will we will teach you, not they, because I'm an instructor. We will teach you, we will guide you, we'll guide you with from A to Z. Everything you need to know. We're going to show you. We're going to teach you the fundamentals. You will build your strong foundation with us. In as much as all these online courses are free, they're not as in-depth as our own course. They're not as in-depth as our curriculum. We give you the real deal. In fact, we give you more value for the money you pay us. You can check. We will give you much more than anything you're going to pay us because we're always there for you. We will be there from the beginning of your journey to when you get your job. So after you get your job, if you need any help, we're always there to help you. Call us. We are there. We have the most patient instructors that are always willing to guide you. When I was learning, sometimes I will message Toba by 12 in the night. So Toba, I'm struggling, how do I do this? And Toba will always answer me. Then we're never busy for you. Once you learn with us, it's a lifelong deal, it's a lifelong partnership. And when you learn with us, you're also going to start doing your projects in the class. So by the time you finish our course, you have 2, 3 projects already done. You contribute, you will network with we have an alumni community, a large alumni community. You're going to already have networks because you're going to already have a good networking system, a good network system because you're part of our alumni community. So a very good place to start is with us, Kedrus Academy. How can data scientists in Nigeria make the most money? Data scientists in Nigeria can maximize their earnings by specializing, freelancing, networking, and continuous learning. Specializing, focus on high demand areas like machine learning, AI, and big data. There are so many things that still need to be done in the world. Even AI that everybody is saying, oh, AI will take over the world, AI will take over the world. It's not true. AI has not gotten to that level yet. If you even check ChatGPT, there are mistakes there. You can ask ChatGPT 1+1. ChatGPT may not tell you two. There are mistakes there. That's why we still need data scientists. We still need them to still innovate, to still make the world better for us, better and easier, because that's what technology is about, connecting the world and making the world better and easier. That's how you can maximize your earning, by specializing. Focus on high demand areas. You can also freelance by offering services to international clients through platforms like Upwork and Freelancer, because you need your experience. You need your experience. Sometimes you may not get the opportunities you need here, and you may not yet have the resources to leave. So you freelance. You get internships. You freelance for international clients. There are so many platforms for you to do that. There's Upwork, there's Freelancer, even LinkedIn and Indeed. Then you network, you build connections with professionals and organizations in the tech industry. If you join Kedrus Academy, you've already started building your connections. You've already gotten made one step in building your connections with professionals. But you can still expand. There's a huge data community on Twitter. There are data communities on LinkedIn. You just need to look, you need to network, you need to put yourself out there, and you need to learn continually. You need to learn. You need to stay updated with the latest tools and technologies through online courses and certifications. You can never stay idle. Once you've learned one, you must go and learn up to 100. You must learn up to 1 million. You must want to improve yourself. You need to improve yourself every day, every hour, every month. So you can never be caught lacking. You need to learn. You need to stay updated with every trend that is happening. That's how you can make the most money as a data scientist in Nigeria. Summary: embarking on a career in data science is both challenging and rewarding. With dedication and continuous learning, you can make a significant impact in this dynamic field. In as much it's challenging, but it's easy. It's easy in the sense that you need to start. The best time to start was yesterday. Because you haven't learned it by now doesn't mean there's no opportunity for you. There's still opportunity. You need to start. And once you start, you need to be dedicated. You need to challenge yourself, and you need to always learn. And once you start, you can make a significant impact in this dynamic field. Thank you very much.
Okay, please can we give Tammy a round of applause? Please, let's celebrate Tammy. Tammy, that was very swift and straight to the point. And the way you were still able to keep to time is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We really, really appreciate you. Okay, so this training, right, is not all talk, talk, and talk. We are actually going to get our hands dirty. Okay, yes. So don't be in a hurry to go. We're going to have an experience with Python. So you're going to have a project right here in class today with Python. Very easy one, so that you know that, well, coding is not all that hard. Okay. And then you're also going to have an experience with a no-code platform that you can use to do machine learning and data science. Do you understand? So don't be in a hurry, right? If you've not had your breakfast or something, just make an arrangement, or maybe at least you can get water or get tea by your side, right? While we continue, we are just prepping. And if you notice, more people have joined in now. We are 41 right now on attendance. So don't be in a hurry to go. I'm going to take my session, right? And before I take my session, I would like to show you some things. Let me share my screen. I want to show you about our platform. Um, so after this, I'll take my session. My session is going to be no code data science. We're going to all practice. Yes. You heard me right. I'm sure that some people may have reached out to you yesterday, reminding you that you should charge your laptop and all of those things. So we're going to practice. And then we are also going to have Python for data science. All right. I can see a hand is raised. Hi, Obi, do you have a question? So we are going to have special question and answer session. Okay, please um don't don't forget your question. Just put it down. Okay, put it down. You can ask it in the chat so you don't forget. Okay. All right. Okay, so how many people can see my screen? This is um this is kedrusacademy.com. Let me come back here so that, oh good, a good number of people can see my screen. So let me minimize it again. All right, this is kedrusacademy.com. I would like you to do something, right? This platform, maybe after the whole class, you can come check it out. But I want to just show you some of the things that you have here, a little bit more about Kedros Academy. Yes, Tammy mentioned what we do, our data science and all of those things, right? Well, this is Kedros Academy. We do everything around data, right? We're not doing web and some of that. No, we are all about data, data science, data analytics, data engineering, everything around data career. I'm just showing this for people that are joining us for the very first time, right? We have accreditation by Skills Development Council Canada and American Council of Training and Development. And what that means is that when you join any of our boot camps at all, you'll be entitled to two certificates, one from Kedrus Academy plus ACTD and another from Skill Development Council Canada. Um, then these are our boot camps. We have the data science and machine learning bootcamp as well as the data analysis bootcamp. We'll come back to that. But what I want you to do, right? We'll come back to these bootcamps. But what I want you to do right now, there is a free course here called Data and AI Literacy. Okay. Let me take out the link to that. This is data and AI literacy. If you don't know anything about data and AI, what is it even all about? This is a free course. So I would like you to go today, take this course if you've not taken it. It's not practical. You can take it with your phone. You know, we made it in such a way that someone can also take it with his or her phone. It is. So just go take this course. Um, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to appreciate it. Let me share the link with you in chat. For those of us that registered for this training today, um, we are also going to share that with you in your email after the training. Okay, so try to take that course. It is free at no cost. Understand what data literacy is all about. And you can use your laptop or your smartphone, it doesn't matter, right? And you could, when you come in here, you see some of in fact, these testimonials, of course, are real life students. I don't know, some of them may even be in this training today. You may know some of them. You can reach out to them and ask if their testimonials are real or not. This is not up to 5%. It's not even up to 5% of the wonderful testimonials we have. I think these were just few that were, the space here could accommodate. And so we have some other courses if you want to start by yourself. Yes, but then start with that data literacy. You can take it because it's free. We have advanced Excel, we have Power BI, we have some of these. See, it's very affordable. All right. So, but on this particular platform, right, there's something we call showcase. So our students, right, like the people that are in the ongoing bootcamp, they've not actually showcased their project here yet. They are still working on them, right? But we have a platform where I've not signed in, but if you sign in, you would be able to upload your project here. And not just that, you have your own. Okay, let me log in so you'd see. Let me log in one of my account. Uh, when we started out these boot camps in 2022. Okay, sorry, let me log in first. we discovered a challenge that most students have. The challenge was usually where to showcase their project. Where do they showcase their work, right? And you see, a lot of them at the end of the day, they have to go build their own website. In fact, there was one of those books, I think BTM 2 or 3 or 2 and 3, where we had to bring somebody. Because if you go to vzy.io, you will see some of our students' projects there already, because we use that platform because it was an easy website building platform and all of those things. But then, with time, we discovered that, okay, there's no need stressing people having to go learn additional web design just because you're becoming a data professional. We decided to put in this dashboard aspect on our website. So our students are able to, when you sign up, you have this dashboard, where you can upload your portfolio, showcase your work. You can copy the link to your direct work and share to this part your dashboard and share it on your resume for your job applications. The courses you're taking, are there some that I enrolled? If you look at my courses, I think I took some courses because of just to do quality assurance. Um okay, you can see some of the courses I have in progress that I started, you see. So you can go to your courses. Aha. So you can go to your courses, you can, go to your showcase, your project. Okay, so you can use this platform. This is one of the benefits that our students have, your portfolio. I didn't upload anyone here, but if you upload, for those of you here that already uploaded, you go, of course, you know what I'm talking about. It's when you upload here, you now come to um showcase. Okay, you go back to showcase, and then anybody can see your work. Okay. So the self-paced courses, the live boot camps are here. We'll come back to talk about the boot camps, but for now, I'm going to stop here while I run you through a presentation on local data science. I hope we are good. All right, so we're about to start our lab sessions. Um, like I said before, right? Don't be in a hurry to go. So our first lab is low code, no code data science. I'm going to start by presenting um, my slide. So please let me know when you can see my screen. Hi, Tammy, can you see my screen?
Hello, I can see your screen.
Yes. So please kindly confirm how the screen appears. Is it showing
Everything
what?
is stretched out. It's okay, but it's stretched out.
Okay, but it's showing the join our free training. Just
Yes,
that,
yes, it
right?
is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Everything is showing.
Okay, okay, amazing. All right, so we are good. Um, this is, of course, why we are here today. So I'm going to take you on an aspect of our our lab session today, which is low code, no code machine learning. I know some people may have been wondering what is low code, no code, right? Machine learning. What is it all about? What is low code, no code machine learning? Okay, and yes, what does it entail? What is low code, no code data set? What is low code, no code anything, right? So low code, when you hear low code, no code, is a term in tech generally that describes a phenomenon or describes an activity or a solution that is, achieved without writing complex code. Do you understand? So when you say low code or no code web design, it means that you're able to build website without writing code. If you learn low code or no code data science, it means you're able to do data science without coding. If you see no code, um anything at all means no code actually. Low code means okay, maybe a little coding that you have to just you may not be the original author of the code. The code note, right? Notebook, the notebook or the file, right, may be shared with you. Okay. The script may be shared with you and then you edit it to suit what you want. That's low code. But in no code, you're just doing maybe drag and drop and you're not doing anything coding. All right, so let's continue with this. So to get started with AI and machine learning, I'd like to explain that AI is the umbrella term that refers to any system that can perform tasks, right? Any system that can do what a human being is supposed to do, right? Any task that ordinarily requires human intelligence, and then all of a sudden a machine is able to do that, right? Or any solution at all, any system is able to do that. That system is all around AI, right? Like Tammy was saying that someone says people think AI is going to take over the world and that AI hasn't really gotten there. The truth is that for AI to really get there, AI has to work with data. And that is why data science, machine learning, data analytics, data is the bedrock of anything AI, right? Because no good solution, ChatGPT, for instance, was fed with lots of data, right? It's a machine learning solution at the back end. You are the one that is interacting with, the UI UX interface of it. But at the back end, it is ML, machine learning and data science that is fueling it. Okay, so AI is that umbrella term that refers to any of those systems that can perform tasks that ordinarily require human intelligence. Okay. However, ML is short for machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, okay, that relies on data and algorithms to learn how to do tasks, right? How to do the tasks that a human being is supposed to do. For instance, being able to identify a spam email, being able to predict consumer behavior, being able to identify fraudulent transactions, okay? Any of those things that, requires human intelligence, being able to speak or interpret natural language, right? Being able to recognize objects. Usually it is you with your eyes, you're supposed to be able to recognize objects, but AI can help you recognize objects. Okay. So any of this thing, machine learning relies on using data now and algorithms to learn. It will first learn. That is why it is machine learning. You are training a machine, you're training a computer to learn what you used to do. You're training a computer to learn your language and be able to interpret it. You're training a computer to learn a pattern, right? To identify an object and be able to recognize it somewhere else. Do you understand? So you're able to use data to train a machine, before the machine can be able to predict. So it is what we call giggle in basic computing, right? If you did computer in primary school, you would have learned garbage in, garbage out. It's giggle. It's like primary school computer, right? What you feed into your algorithm, what you feed into your model is going to be a determinant of the output you're going to get. So imagine if a solution like ChatGPT, Gemini, or what have you know, is fed with the wrong information. Imagine it is fed with wrong data, dirty data, spurious data. What is going to happen at the end of the day to give you wrong output, right? You will ask it a question, it will feed you with a different answer. Imagine map. Okay, a lot of us use Google Map, right? Imagine if Google Map was fed the wrong information. What happens, right? Maybe you not discover that you're traveling, you want to travel, you put somewhere that you know that you're traveling to, maybe you're in Lagos, you want to go to the island, you've not been there before, you want the map to take you. If the map is distorted or if the map is fed or trained with the wrong information, what will happen? You might find yourself in Ijebu, you might find yourself in Oyo State, you can find yourself in Atibado, anywhere else. Do you understand? Because the information that the map was trained with was wrong. So this is why machine learning is very, very important. You train a system, you train the application, you train the software, you train it to be able to perform some certain task. Okay, it doesn't have computers don't have brain of their own. Robots, some of you see robots doing so many things that human beings are naturally supposed to do. Robots do not have brain on their own. Robots are fed with data. They are trained with machine learning. Okay? All right. So let's move on to the next. How do we develop machine learning models? Like I've explained that AI is the umbrella term, artificial intelligence, umbrella term about everything that has to do with, you know, getting a machine to do what humans are supposed to do, getting a computer to do what we are supposed to do, right? That is AI. But a subset of AI is machine learning, right? In fact, machine learning is an aspect of data science, but I'm taking that aspect today, right? Now, there are three ways to develop machine learning models. Models are what you use, like I said, to train your data. Let's say, for instance, you want to have a camera in your at your gate that recognizes people before they access your premises. Okay, a security camera, something like that. And then you for that camera to be able to, because the camera is just the hardware now. The software part is the model, right? You have used your face of your spouse, your children, everybody in your household that have legitimate access to your home, right? You have used their face, you have fed the computer those faces, right? So when a stranger comes in, the person is not able to access the premises. Why? Because there is no information, there is no data of that person in the system. So the system will flag it and raise an alarm and say, oh, a stranger is going to. But when you now update and say, okay, add this face to the people that can access to the model, the premises, the model will update and add it, right? Add the person's face. Next time when the person comes, the person will not be flagged out. Okay. In fact, our smartphones is an example. A lot of us has facial recognition systems on our smartphone. That is why you can use your eye contact. You can look at your face, use your face to lock or unlock your phone, right? Yes, because you already fed it in. You remember, for instance, that simple application on your phone, for you to use it, you set it up. You set it up in such a way that the phone can recognize your face. The very first day, the same thing with your fingerprint. If you're using your fingerprint to access your phone, right? There's a system on your phone um, that was trained with the data of your finger. So that very first time you're setting it up and it's telling you put your thumb here, put it again and again, or you register your thumb, you are feeding the model with the information about your thumbprint. What happens? Any other time you now comes and insert your thumbprint, it opens. When somebody else puts the thumbprint, it doesn't open because why? It wasn't fed with that data. Do you understand? So that is machine learning. That is the simplest way you can understand. Now, there are different ways to develop machine learning models, three different ways to be precise. One is the code first approach, right? The code first approach is the traditional approach of writing code, where you use either Python or R programming to write your code from beginning to end. That is the code first approach, right? That is like the brick and mortar approach to machine learning. Now, the second approach is the no code approach, which is the newer drag and drop approach, right? Of course, as the tech industry, the digital landscape is evolving, right? With the advent of AI and all of those things, we realize that in fact some of these AI applications can even write code. So the emphasis is not now about writing code, but you need to understand code as a data scientist, right? You need to understand that this is how a code built. You need to be able to read and explain, interpret code. You need to be able to edit code, right? And make some adjustments at some point. Because of course there is, for instance, there is, if you are familiar with GitHub, for instance, there is GitHub Copilot that will help you to even write the code. But are you able to even understand what you're doing, right? That is where you need, of course, knowledge of coding. But then it is not like the do or die affair, right? As it used to be before, where people say you must learn how to code, code. Even if you don't really know how to code and you can interpret code, you can still thrive in this industry, right? By taking the second approach, which is the no code approach. Now, the no code approach is the newer drag and drop approach. This drag and drop approach, you don't need to write a single line of code. Just understand machine learning procedures. How do you get started? What do you do first? What is the first step? Right? What is the second step? What is the third step? What is the fourth step? What is the fifth step? What is the outcome? How do I interpret my results? Do you understand? Okay, how do I now make use of this? Where do I plug it in? Which developer am I going to work? Who is going to build the front end where this thing is going to be launched? Do you understand? So that is the no code approach, right? If you're a business decision maker, maybe you're a business developer, or you're a product developer, or you're even a business owner, you want to use no code to do solutions for your business, right? Because you don't have all the time to start writing code, or you can employ people to do that if you really, really need code, right? But the no code approach is such that any single person, as long as you can read and write, can do data science without writing a single line of code. Now we have the low code approach, which is the third approach. The low code approach, you use some platforms that support little or minimal coding experiences. So, like I said, some of those platforms you just edit their code blocks, right? Maybe the code, you have the script already, you make edit your own, personalize it. Okay, you personalize the solution by just editing the code and doing some minimal work on it. Okay, we have some um what we call them is programming toolkit, right? We have machine learning toolkit, MLTK, for instance, on Microsoft Azure. What the MLTK toolkit, that is machine learning toolkit, does for you is that it won't even write the code. The code, you have all the coding templates. Okay, just edit it. But how do you edit code when you don't even understand the code? See? But that is low code. It will just save you time, but then you do little or minimal work on it. But the good thing about us in data in Kedrus Academy is that we expose you to all these experiences. Okay, we expose you to everything at Kedrus Academy, and we're going to talk about that later. All right, so you have the full package whenever you're dealing with us. Now, let's look at the difference between the traditional versus the no-code machine learning approach. The traditional approach, remember, is the coding approach, the Python, the approach where you must learn either Python or R, right? Especially Python, because um, Python is more globally even acceptable than R. Now, what is the difference? Now, the difference is that the traditional coding approach requires a very high level of technical expertise. Okay. Meanwhile, the low code, no code approach is such that you can, anyone at all can use AI, can build AI solution, can build machine learning solutions, can do data science projects. You understand? So there is no, it's not technical, right? It does not require a lot of technical expertise. Another difference is that, of course, for the traditional or the coding aspect, you're going to do a lot of complex code to get your system up and running. But anyone can create sophisticated applications using machine learning without code. All right. So let's continue. Now you may be wondering, no code platforms, what are they? You've been hearing no code. What are they precisely? What are these no code platforms? So no code platforms work by allowing you to drag and drop components. So there are components called widgets into visual interface. So you have a widget. Imagine if you just have to um, um, drag and drop instead of writing code. If you're familiar with Power BI, for instance, you realize it's a drag and drop interface where you just pick something and bring it into the surface, double click on it, and you continue. Yes, there are solutions like that for data science also, right? Why you use Power BI for data analysis and business intelligence. We have some solutions, right, that are just like that Power BI that you can use for data science, and they are fantastic. They're amazing, right? If you join our data science bootcamp, you're going to learn at least two of those platforms too. You're not going apart from the Python you're going to learn, you're also going to learn the no code approach to it. Two of them, global standard. You won't get it anywhere else in Nigeria. No, I can assure you of that. Anywhere else in Nigeria, no other academy knows it. And that is why, of course, if you check our website, you may not get some of those information because once people see those things, you know, it's all over the place and all of the thing. But it is global standard, I can assure you. So we have these no-code platforms that work by allowing you to drag, drop components called widgets into visual interface. Okay, you're able to use these widgets and Lego blocks to build your machine learning application, right? And also they come with pre-configured settings that allow you to get started immediately. So you don't need to come and start doing setups and conditions on your code and all. No, okay, they have some pre-configured settings. You just drag, drop, maybe you then double click or you click the drop down arrow, choose the option you want, that kind of thing. It is that easy, and you build solutions that change lives and businesses. Okay, so we have a lot more. So how do you create machine learning models with such drag and drop interface or no code solution? Okay, for instance, to create machine learning model, you just simply need to connect a data set, select your column if it is tabular data now, like your sheets, right? You can connect them and the platform will take care of the rest. Sometimes what you're connecting is not even sheets like Excel and the rest. You may be having accessing a folder that contains pictures. You may be, for instance, maybe you want to train the system to recognize your dog or differentiate between a dog and a cat. You need to feed it with a lot of pictures about cats, a lot of pictures about dog, or even if it's your face, you want it to recognize a lot of pictures about your face, right? It is just that simple, and the system will help you, with the rest. It will automatically select the best algorithms and configure them for you. We also have a what we call auto ML, where it will try maybe run your data set with as many models as possible. Sorry about that. um it can run up to 10, 15, 20 models. You see, it makes it low code, no code makes it a lot more easier for you, because if you're using coding, you're going to be iterating, right? You try one model, then you try another model, then you compare, you write another code to try a third model. At most, we try 3 or 4 models because you would have even been exhausted. In fact, you must be somebody that is so good and so patient to even try up to 4 models and now see the one that is performing better on your data. But with low code, no code platforms, you can do auto ML. The system can run up to 20 different models for you and bring out the best fit, help you identify this is the best performing model, and you work with it. Do you understand? So it's a lot more easier for you. Okay, so what does this mean for you as a data scientist? What does it mean for you? So, as a data scientist, right, you can leverage the no code, low code platforms to build complex data science solutions in the least possible time. What would have taken a programmer or a data scientist that take the coding approach, a solution that can take them 1 week or 2 weeks to deliver, right? You can deliver it in a day, in just a few hours, if you're using the low code, no code platform. Um, so there are so many benefits of no code machine learning, right? You're able to make decision faster, which leads to better decision making, easy incorporation of AI into business operations, quick and automated machine learning processes, improved resource optimization, right? Because now, if you're not for a business, that is why I said the business model of hiring lots of people to code has is already phasing out, right? At most you can have one person that can code. Businesses now, what they do, get one person that can code, that can just help, with maybe updating and the rest. But if you have the good knowledge and you can do no code, low code, no code, they want to hire you faster because it's more cost effective for them, right? Nobody wants to pay for complex applications that they would keep needing very high technicality to maintain. Businesses don't want that. Everybody wants easy life, right? So you understand data science, understand machine learning, learn to build this solution. And additionally, yes, we will still train you with the data, that Python aspect, the coding aspect, you will still have it as a plus. So you're an all-rounder. Do you understand? So the best thing is it helps businesses optimize resources, right? It helps them optimize resources. Even you, if you're building your own personal solution with this, it will help you optimize resources. You're not going to spend so much. You're getting your work done faster. You're beating time, right? Two things that are important to business is how to save time and how to save money, how to save cost and time. Do you understand? So you're able to help them save time. And being able to help them save time means you have helped them to save cost. All right, so let's continue. Now, so today I'm going to expose you practically to a no code machine learning platform called Teachable Machine. Teachable Machine. Teachable Machine is a very wonderful no-code platform owned by Google rather. So if you have a Google account, we have to choose that so that, of course, everybody has a Google, or let's say 90% or 95% of people here have Google accounts. So you're not going to be left out, right? So we're going to use the one that is easily accessible. We're going to use Google Product today, even for the Python aspect. We're going to use a platform that you can access with just your Gmail. Do you understand? And we'll just show you just the main thing is so that you just understand what machine learning or data science really entails. So a teachable machine, for instance, is a tool that helps you teach a computer to recognize things. Okay. Like I said, machine learning and AI is all about teaching a machine how to act or behave like a human, right? Or to carry out tasks that a human is supposed to do. So now we have a tool, right? That um, is able to help teach that computer, right? That is what we call a teachable machine. The computer we then learn from these examples and can identify similar things in the future. Now we have Google Teachable Machine. Google's Teachable Machine is a web-based interface that allows people to train their own ML classification models, right? There are different types of models in data science. If you join our bootcamp, you get to learn them. But for today, both for the Python and the low code, we're going to do classification, right? Classification is just to separate things, yes or no, A or B, man or woman, male or female, cat or dog, something very simple, but there are more complex models that we cover in our trainings. So we have classification model without any form of coding. Okay, you can use your webcam, you can use images, you can use sound, right? I'm going to show you two ways. I'm going to show you with images, I'm going to show you with sound. So it uses a web camera. You can use a web camera to gather images or videos. You can use those images to train your model. Then you can use the model to classify new images or videos. All right. So that is just, well, you're going to see how all that works. So what does Teachable Machine offer us? Teachable Machine offers us a generalized, flexible input interface for making ML classification models that can be easily learned and used without prior experience or expertise. A set of decisions that enable learning and experimentation for new users of ML. So, for a lot of us that are learning about machine learning for the very first time, right, it's going to give you an opportunity to experiment and see what all these things we've been saying. Say, what does it? So, it's something to just put to practice so that you understand, just to drive all this our English and concept home. Um, so let's continue. So finally, we're going to be looking at how to create a machine learning model, gather data. I've been able to gather data for us, upload the data. If you notice, if you go to the chat, you see that I dropped a link there. I'm going to also drop it again. That link contains two folders. I've been able to give you all access to it already. It contains two folders that we are going to use. Okay, we are going to upload the data to train the model and to test the model. Okay. But after testing the model, we do exporting the model. But we're not going to do exporting today. When you export the model, right, is when you now say, okay, this model, I'm publishing it to the website or to my page, or maybe you work in an organization that have developers. The developers can now, use the iframe to embed in the application. So people will just come and say, okay, show me the picture of a cat. And then, is this a cat or a mouse, something like that. You the Every other person, every other user out there will just be able to play with the back end, the front end, but you don't know what is at the back end. That the back end is machine learning. So the benefits of using teachable machine is that it is easy to use. There is no data science expertise required. It supports multiple input types. It has quick iteration. It supports multiple export options. I'm trying to be fast because of our time. And then finally, yes, we are going to dive into the lab session for Teachable Machine. So I'm going to stop sharing my presentation and then I'll take you straight to how we can access Teachable Machine. If you have a question, okay, um, if you have a question, don't forget to share your question in the chat menu. Some other members of Kedrus Academy team are here. Um, they would take your questions. But did we enjoy the session? If you enjoyed the session, give me some heart now. Share some love. Share some love. Okay. All right. So I'm happy that you're here. You're still here with us. Okay. So you're just going to, yes, we are going to go straight to our browser. Um, Let me share my screen. Tell me when you can see my screen, okay? So just come to Google and type teachable machine. Um, Let me know when my screen comes up. So it's teachable machine.withgoogle.com. I'll get the URL for you guys. Let me share my screen first. Yeah, we have it here. So just open your new tab and search for teachable. Just search for teachable machine. Can you see my screen now? If you search for teachable machine, you're going to see the very first one here. Open it. When you open it, it's going to bring you here. This is where we are. Now, we are going to do an image project and an audio project. Then you're going to have a take-home assignment with a pose project. Now, this image project, if you check the chat, you're going to see the link I shared. When you open that link, okay, let me get that link. I know that some smart people had downloaded it the moment I shared it. If you downloaded the content of that, can you please raise your hand? Let me see. The drive. I know I have smart people. Yes, I trust you guys. Okay. So when you open it, it's going to take you to it's quite accessible. Oh no, 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 it's Teams own I downloaded, I picked. So why is the uh, let me just get it for the sake of those who don't know what I'm talking about. So I've dropped the link again in case if you were not here when we shared it earlier. Um, put it into your browser. Yes, it's going to show you two folders, not pizza and pizza. Okay, download them. If you download them, it's going to look something like this, not pizza or pizza. So let me share. I think I'm out of the browser. So we are going hands-on. I need your attention. Um, pizza, not pizza and pizza. So if you open this folder, you're going to see plenty pictures that are not pizza. Can you see that? Not pizza. All these pictures, these are different pictures that are not pizza. They are not pizza. Can you see? Different food, burgers, soup, rice, different things. They are food, but they are not pizza, right? Some look like pizza, but they are not pizza. See, there are lots of them, because the truth is that, so we are going to use this data to train the model. Okay, let's go back and check the pizza. So here you have different types of pizza. So we want to train a model that recognizes pizza. Okay, we want to train a model that recognizes pizza. Very simple way to train a model that recognizes pizza. So these are different types of pizza, right? We want to train the machine to recognize pizza. All right, so having shared this, let's go back to our website. Um, so machine learning is actually very interesting, right? Very interesting. Very interesting. You're going to see. Okay, so our teachable machine, where are you? Um, so back to Chrome. Let me know when my screen is up again. I'm just switching screens. So that's why. So I have some existing projects in my drive that I can open for you guys, but that will take some of our time. So let's do a new project. Okay, so let's click on image project, right? If you click on image project, you're going to see, please confirm if you can see my screen. You're going to see two options. You're going to see standard image model and embedded image model. I think I should share my entire screen. So we have the standard image model and we have the embedded image model. We are not interested in this embedded, okay, because it has to do with a lot of microcontrollers, which we are not interested in today. The standard image model that is best for, beginners like yourself, right, is what we are going to use. And at the end of the day, notice you can export to TensorFlow, TF-Lite, and the TensorFlow is a library that you get to learn when you become a data scientist, or when you join the data science bootcamp. So we have two classes of image, right? We have we have class 1, that is pizza. We have class 2, that is not pizza. Yeah, the teachable machine is going to help us to train the model. After training it, right, we'll be able to preview, right, and see the outcome, be able to test the one that is a pizza and not a pizza. I want to know if you are here with me. If you're here with me, please raise your hand. Tammy, please, Toba, how many people are here with us? I may not be able to easily see because I'm sharing my entire screen now. How many people are here with us?
Around 17 people have their hands raised up.
Okay, can we get that to 20? So just go to teachable machine with google.com. Okay. If you've not downloaded the data set, it's not bad. You can always come back and just open it so you know that it's realistic, right? After the training, we are still going to provide you all the resources in your email. All the resources that we use today, we are still going to send it to you, the data set, the link to the data set, and everything. The recording, you're going to have access to all of them, and you can still practice it on your own, right? But now you can use webcam or upload. So if I had pizzas physically here, I'll just use my web camera to capture the pictures, right? But I don't have the pizzas physically. So it's something that is realistic. If you have your dog at home and you want to train the face of your dog, or if it is my face, I'll just turn on webcam now and capture my face. Do you get? Yes, but we are not using webcam. We are uploading. So first of all, we'll rename this class 1. So let's bring in pizza, class 1, and class 2 is going to be not pizza. Just click on this pen and edit it. Okay. Now come to upload. Yes. So you can import images from Google Drive directly, choose image from your files or drag and drop. So yes, I can bring it in because I already have it in my system downloaded. So I go to where I have it. I think I have it in my data science resources. Yes. So this is the pizza, not pizza folder. In here, I want to bring in pizza. So all those pizza are inside this folder. Click open. Can you see? This is everything. So I'm going to copy everything. Control A. So I just did Control A to copy everything. Do you see from beginning to the end? And then you can see I've copied everything. Open. Can you see it is loading? Yes. So these are pizza. These are pizzas. Then for not pizza, we're going to do the same thing. We click on upload. Choose image from my files. So I'll come back to the folder pizza, not pizza, and then this time around I'll pick not pizza. It will open. Select the first one and then do Control A to select everything. Okay. So Control A, we've chosen everything. We've selected everything. And then we'll click on Open. Do you see? So we've been able to, we gathered the data. The data here are pictures of pizza and not pizza. That is our data set here. We've been able to upload the data, right? In the two classes. Remember, this is what we call a classification algorithm. I can still go and add another class. I can say, okay, pizza, not pizza, and let's say soup, or let's say bread, or fruit. Do you understand? I can click add class here and add fruit. Do you understand? As number 3. Okay, but let's work with these two because I don't have pictures for fruit or something else. I just training with these two, which is okay. So we're going to train the model. To train the model, we have these advanced options. So there is something we call epochs, batch size, the learning rate, the rate at which the machine is going to learn this, right? We're going to leave these things at default, okay? But when you come for training, you understand what they all entail. Batch size is the number of the pictures or your data point that can be processed or learned at once by the machine, right? So I just say, let me show you some of those things. Now we are going to click on train model. So it is training the model. It is training. We are going to wait for some time. So after training, we can now preview. Oh, why is it saying unresponsive? Wait. Okay, so it's training. You don't switch tabs. If you can see that, it's training. So how many people are training along? If you're here and you're training along, say hi. So the secret to a very, very effective or a very, very optimized model is that you feed it in with more data. This data is small. 983 images each is actually small, right? Um, in real life scenario, you may need to use millions, right? You may need to use a lot more models. Okay, so I don't want to use webcam. Now it's telling you to export. If you are exporting, it will take you to a place where you can now put this model such that you can test. But let's preview. I don't want to use webcam. I want to use file. I want to be able to choose an image from my file to test if it's a pizza or no pizza. So in my folder, I think I have what I can use to test. Let me go back. I'm not sure you have that pizza, not pizza, teachable machine. Okay, I think I have test pizza file. Let me open it. So do you see there are different, okay, I didn't share this with you. I'm going to update that on your email on this thing. So these ones are what I want to now use to test it. If you notice here, there is only one pizza. This one, or is this one also a pizza? Yes, these two are pizzas, right? This one is chicken. This one is something else. Chicken soup. Um, this one, different things, rice and stew soup. I want to be able to test. These ones are not part of the data we use to train, right? Now I want to pick chicken. Let me pick this chicken and open it. Um, okay. I think my screen is not showing everything, but you're supposed to see percentage learning rate. Let me do that again. I want to zoom out to see. Um, our model has been trained, so we need to be able to preview. I don't want to export. I want to be able to, before I come here, I want to be able to preview. So let me see if your screen is showing differently. Mine is not. Um, okay, let me reload and see. We may need to. Let me reload and see. I didn't save that. But it's very simple. So I'm going to retrain. So it's not showing how it ought to, right? Oh, let's do not pizza. It doesn't matter. Control A, open. And this is not pizza. Um, this one is pizza. Okay. So we are leaving the advanced, we are leaving it at default like we did before, and then we'll train. So the data is training. You may be able to preview better than me, but I don't know why my screen is cutting down. Okay. So while this is training, let me get your feedback. Let me come back to Teams. I'm unable to see your feedback while it is training. Let me get your feedback. How many of you saw the percentage that showed when you previewed? Um, okay, people saw it actually. So I was the only one not seeing it from my end. Okay, so we can use somebody else's screen then, because I think that is from my, or maybe due to the fact that I'm sharing my screen completely. But let me see. Okay. So this is training. So to save us time, right? We are not exporting the model. We are not exporting because, oh, Choma won't be able to share. So Choma, you can take a screenshot of what you saw. Let me see if I can give you permission to share. Yeah. So what you're supposed to see here, right, is the percentage at which what you brought in, what you're testing for is a pizza or not a pizza. So I think this aspect of my screen was down, probably because I'm sharing my entire screen. Let me stop sharing and share just this screen and see if it will appear differently. Um, let's see if it is different now. So file, I want to test this model. So I come to a different data set that was not even used. I pick something like this and I open. It's still appearing the same way. It's still appearing the same way. So it's supposed to tell us this is pizza by 100% or by 85%, or it is not pizza by 100% or by 5%. Okay, so if you got this, for whatever reason, I don't know why it's not scrolling down to show below the arrow. So, but then that is a very minor something. Okay, let me try zooming. Aha. Okay, okay. Okay, you can see that now. I've been able to zoom out. Can you see that? I think it was my zoom. My screen was too zoomed in, zoomed out. So I've been able to zoom in. Can we see this now? Notice. So it's telling us that this thing is pizza. But please, is this a pizza? This is not pizza now, you see? Probably there were some things that looked like pizza, that looked like this that were not, but this is not pizza. So this model did not identify this accurately. Let's try another picture. You see, um so this thing now in machine learning, there's something we call it, is not, we call it a false negative. Don't worry about that. Right now, your model can predict four outcomes: a true positive, a true negative, a false positive, and a false negative. When you come to class, you understand all of those, but this is what we call a false positive. Do you understand? This is a false positive because it's telling us it is pizza. Our model is to identify pizza. It's telling us that it is pizza when it is not pizza, right? So the number of true positive, no matter how accurate your model is, the number, there must be outcomes like this. There are true positives, there are false positives. Then we now do some calculations around it to know the model that has less of this likelihood. Do you understand? And that is why these machine learning models, you can have it in a loan organization, in a loan department in the bank, where it is supposed to identify the person that will likely pay back the loan, person that will default or not default, right? It may give out loan to people that will eventually default. Oh, that's why it is not a human being, right? It may give out loan to people that may eventually default and then deny the loan from some people that do not have the likelihood to default, right? What reduces that occurrence is the robustness of your data. Do you get? So this data, like I said, is not robust enough. So let's pick this chicken and see if it will even recognize that this is not a pizza. Okay, not pizza 100%, right? It is not pizza. Let's check again. Let's try something else that is a bit confusing. This one, oh, this is actually pizza, but let's see, will you recognize that this is pizza the way it's looking? You see, this is actually pizza, but because of the way it appears, it recognizes it as not pizza. Let's try again. Um, this rice, not pizza 100%. Um, let's try this. Not pizza, of course, 100%. We now tell you how do you fine tune your model to get a better output. These are some of the things you learn in the class that you're not going to see here today, right? This is where I'm going to draw the curtain on low code, no code data science. I'm going to stop sharing. I'll take your questions a little before we go to the second lab, which is the coding aspect. Thank you so much. So can somebody clap for me now? How many of us enjoyed that session? If you enjoyed that session, just clap for me. Did it, and I'm so sure it made a lot of sense to you, as simple as it is, right? Please, would like to take your feedback about that session in the comment section. What do you think? What has this made you realize about data science or machine learning rather? What have you suddenly realized? Oh, it's actually this simple, right? Yes, it is. Okay. The only complex part is doing the same thing with coding. So if you enjoyed that session, if you understood or learned something from there, just don't hesitate to mention that in your comment section. Okay, somebody is sharing. This is what I experienced. Oh, did you use webcam? You're using webcam? Did you use webcam? You know, I didn't give you testing picture. I can't see the picture you're even, and it's your webcam that is on. So you're supposed to change from webcam. That's for Gwenga now. Change from webcam. It's like a soft light. Yes, so it is. Okay. So I'm going to so while we are going to take the second lab, or someone say I struggle to use teachable machine learning. Okay, when we finish our first session, we'll come back to that. And probably because I was a bit fast because of our time, our classes are usually 2 hours. For usually this teachable machine would have been 2 hours. But then, well done, Austin. Well done. Well done, 98%. That is good. So 98% is a good percentage. But is this really a pizza? I don't know if it's a pizza, whatever. So someone said he couldn't import the pictures, right? Probably you did not download it well. So we are going to help you out. We are coming back with that. If you can wait till after our session, don't go. I promised us that we have special gift for you guys that are joining this webinar today. And we are not mincing words, right? Just stay to the end and you will see the beautiful gift that we have for you. All right. So if you have question or if you encountered a challenge, just wait behind after the session. Eternal said he couldn't import the pictures, but once you downloaded it, it's fine. As long as you downloaded it in your system, you'll be able to do that. It's a very simple one. Okay, so this is the end of the low code, no code aspect. Hi, Tobar, are you here with us? This is data science and machine learning in a day. Okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes,
Oh yes.
yes,
Hi.
Tobar.
I am just trying to set up the code environments I'm going to use for the class.
Okay. All right. So
So
while Tobar
we'll
is
be ready to
setting
go
up,
on that in 5 minutes.
okay. All right. So while Tobar is setting up, Tobar, could you also share link to well, don't worry, so that people can start on time. So while Toba is setting up, let's support somebody. Someone said he couldn't import the pictures. We could check him out. And then for Gwenga, please confirm if you've been able to sort it out. Have you been able to sort it out? You could just pick any of the random no pizza pictures from the folder you downloaded and use it to test. But that is going to be Ojoro Sha because it's already one of the files. So it's just going to give you 100% no pizza. It's good to try with a different data, but just try it out and see. Um, Eternal, are you here? Where is Eternal? I can give you permission to share your screen so that we can support you. Usually our students are able to share their screen. Um, okay, please, let's go up. You cannot before. Okay, probably. Do you know what may have happened? I'm reading your chat. What may have? Okay, you're using your mobile device. Oh, that's why. That's why you need to use your laptop. Now you're not a data scientist, you're becoming one, right? So someone said it cannot preview because it isn't active. Probably it downloaded as a zip folder. You may need to unzip it. You may need to unzip it. So check, that is Ademola Ahmed. Please check if it downloaded as a zip folder. Right click and unzip it, and then you'll be able to access it. Okay, I think that is it. Um, all right. So while Toba is getting ready, let me share something with you guys. Okay, someone says 0%. So you did not rename class one and class two. What is class one? Is it pizza or not pizza? So we are seeing class one and class two. So you can go back and rename it. It's not late. Rename class one, rename class two. All right. Okay, so let me share something with you guys. Just a few minutes. As soon as I get it in, I'll show you. Okay. Just give me a sec. All right. So I think I've gotten that what I need. Um Okay, Toba is ready, but then let me share this. Please let me know when my screen is ready. For people that have waited this long, let me just share something with them. All right. I think there are people in the lobby. Oh, their hands are raised. I'm loving the feedback I'm seeing here. Oh, can you imagine it? That's cupcake for crying out loud, teachable machine. That's not pizza. Huh? Kill. All right. So you can see my screen. I want to, if you have waited this long, it means that you're actually enjoying data science and you it's something you would like to check out. Um, Registration is currently going for our data science and machine learning bootcamp. This is the second of its kind. We had one in, I think that was in March, right, Toba? And usually it lasts for 8 weeks. For 8 weeks, you're going to have classes every week, right? About 5 classes every week, 2 hours each, right? So you have class Monday, Tuesday, maybe take a break on Wednesday, then have class Thursday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. And so we are going to start the next boot camp on the 16th of September. The price is 150,000 naira. But I promised those of us that have joined this bootcamp a gift, right? So for those of us that are here in this um, training today, right? My gift for you is 20,000 naira discount from this money, right? Personally, as a lead instructor from Kedrus Academy, if you're able to pay in the next 48 hours, the discount lasts for just 48 hours. Sorry, it's not forever. So if you don't join within the next 48 hours, it goes back. So from now, today is Friday till Sunday night. Yeah, midnight on Sunday. By Monday, it goes back to 150K. Okay, so you have 20,000 naira discount. Of course, you have to pay directly to the company account because if you go through the website, you're going to pay the complete 150 from on the website card. So we are going to share with you the account details. Take advantage of this in the next 48 hours. You know, in the next 48 hours, jump in. We are going to start on the 16th of September. Okay, jump in already and take advantage of this. Thank you. All right, Toba, you can take over. Over to you, Toba.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay, all right, wonderful. So let me share my screen. Um, I think it's not letting me share. Okay. Can I confirm if you can see my screen? Okay, wonderful. I think someone sent a thumbs up. Okay, so you can see that my screen is currently blank right now, like there's nothing there. So, and that's because I want us to start. I want us to start this together. So, let me give a bit of introduction into what we're going to go into. So, Stella has already spoken to you about the no code, low code aspects of of data science. So, but for this, I'm going to be treating the code aspects of data science. So, but there's something very critical that we need to do before we even like delve into the world of data science, and that is the programming language that you're going to use to deal with that. Just like how if you want to communicate with anyone in real life, right? You need a sort of um language to communicate with that person. You can either speak English to the person or speak Yoruba or Hausa or Igbo. You need to have a language to communicate with. And for data science, the language that we typically use, there are other languages that we can use, right? But the most common language to use is Python. And the reason why Python is the most common for that is that it's a very easy language to understand, and it's a very easy language to also run with, to work with. Like if I should show you some codes that we're going to work with today, it's almost as if you are speaking English to the computer, right? To make the computer understand what you are saying. That is why Python is a very common language to use when we are dealing with code in data science. So when we want to deal with data science, there is something very critical that you need to put in mind. So the flow that we used to run in data science for our machine learning engine, the flow that we used to run is data. So the technical term is that we train our machine learning models on this data. And training a machine learning model, to break it down to a simpler term, is when you can think of a student, right? A primary school student. Primary school student doesn't know anything yet, but you have to teach that primary school student. You have to teach him different things that he's supposed to learn. Let's say he's learning social studies, right? You have to teach him everything in social studies, from community to family, and whatever they teach in social studies, or whatever they can teach them in social studies, right? That is what the primary school students will have to learn. So at the end of the day, after teaching the primary school students everything that he or she needs to know, then he has to do an exam. And in that exam, we're not going to see if he passes that exam or not. If he passes that exam, he can move on to the next class. But if he doesn't pass that exam, that means he has to repeat that class and go through the class again, and they will now do another exam again to see if he has really learned anything. That's exactly how it is when we're training a machine learning model in data science. So we are going to get our students, which is the machine learning model, and we're going to teach it the things that it's supposed to know with our data. Excuse me. After teaching it everything it's supposed to know, we're now going to test it to see if it actually learns what we told it to learn. We are not going to see if it learns it well. Right. So let's get into that. So because of our time, we can't really go into everything that you need to know in Python, right? If you want to learn that, we need to do that in a more structured environment, which is what our bootcamp is well set for. But I can still go through some things that you'll still be able to understand easily in the course of this session. So first of all, the first thing we need to do is do some basic initializations, right? So these are just things that we need to do before our program can start running, right? So we have to import some libraries that we need for our code to start running initially. So you can still ignore this part. This part is very technical. You can still ignore this. So from here now is what we need to start. You need to pay attention to understand what we do in data science. So like I said, the flow that we use to run in data science is data, right? So we need to import the data that we're going to use. We need to come and load this into our environment to be able um to use it. So for the purpose of this session, the data that I'll be using the data that I'll be using is data from a can think of it as a real estate company, data that they've gathered from there, right? So this data contains details about housing, prices of houses in a particular area, which is California specifically, prices of houses in California, and how different features of the house affects the price. So what our aim for this is to be able to predict exactly what price is going to be. So after knowing like the prices of houses in this area and also the different features of those houses, how many bedrooms do they have, how close are they to the road, is it a duplex, is it a story building, those kinds of features of the house, right? After knowing those information about different houses in the area, can we predict what the price of a new house would be, a house that we have never seen before? Can we predict what the price of that house will be, right? That's the aim of this particular work that we're trying to do now. So the first thing we are going to do is to bring in our data, right? So we are going to load our data. We're going to load our data. That's the first thing that we're going to do. So to load our data, we need to keep it in a bucket, right? And the bucket that we're going to keep it in, let's call it housing data. Let's call this bucket housing data. It is this bucket that's going to hold the data that we're going to use to train our model, the model that's going to predict the prices of these houses. That's what we are going to do. So to load in our data, we are going to use this line of code. So let me first put in the code first. Now explain exactly what we just did there. All right. So I'll go through it. It's very simple, right? So our data is in a tabular format, right? This is exactly what our data looks like. Here, you can look to the left here. Sorry, to the right, still loading. So this is what our data looks like. Let me zoom in so that it is more visible. Okay, so this is what our data looks like, right? This is a tabular data in the form of a CSV file. So if you are familiar with Microsoft Office, or if you've done a bit of data analysis in the past, you should be familiar with this file format. So it's just like when you open Microsoft Excel and it is in a tabular format. That is what our data is. So it contains all of this information, and this information is visible to me because I'm opening it in a way that can be viewed, right? But we can still view this data, right, inside our code environment. And I'm going to try to do that. I'm just showing you what our data exactly looks like. So it is a CSV file. So this is how we can read CSV files into our data, right? So as I said, Python is a very relatable language, right? If you look at this, it says pd dot read CSV, and then all this part that is kind of confusing to understand, right? So, but if we start from the beginning, this PD is a library that I imported from here, right? Remember I said that you need to do some of these things to be able to initialize before you can start doing anything. This is what you need to do, right? So from this library, this PD library, this is what we are going to use to read our data, which is a CSV file. So PD does read CSV, right? Reading CSV, and this is where our CSV file is located, right? So it is very long and complicated, but you don't need to worry yourself about this. This is just where the file is located on your computer, right? So what this line of code is saying is that read this CSV file and then put it inside our buckets, which is this housing data. That is what this line of code is doing. So we're just reading our CSV data and putting it inside housing data buckets. In fact, let me call it that. Let's call it housing data buckets. Right. So our CSV file has been loaded and put inside housing data buckets. All right. So it has done that now. So the next thing we want to do now, right? Remember I said that we can view our data just like I did on that side there, but that is just that's the view that I showed you that time of the data was just like an added advantage of this coding environment that I'm working on. Normally, you won't have access to that kind of view, right? So if you want to view your data, like we just loaded our data, right? We put it inside our bucket, but we don't know what our data looks like. We don't know what is inside it, right? So next thing I'm going to do is to preview our data, but I don't want to view the entire data. This data might have like it might have thousands of data entries inside this, but I don't want to view the thousands of data entries. I just want to preview the data to see that it is exactly as I imagined it to be, right? So I just want to view the head of the data, just the head part of the data. And to do that, all I have to do is type in housing data buckets, right? Our buckets where we kept our data, right? And to view the head, so dot head, and then I put this open brackets, which is and that complex thing that I don't need to worry about, right? So we want to view housing data bucket, the head of housing data bucket. That is what this line of code is saying, right? So if I should run this now, if I should run that line of code, you can see that it now views our data. And if you can see on the left side, you can see some numbers. You can see some numbers here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is telling us the index of the data entry that we are looking at, right? So these are the top five data entries in this particular data that we are working with. These are the first five data entries in it. So we can see the different features of each data entry here. You can see we have longitude, latitude, housing median age, total rooms, total bedrooms, population, households, median income, and then median house value, right? So each of these features, it is referring to the features that a house in that area in California has, right? So let's look at this first one, this index 0. You can think of this as house number 0, and then house number 1, house number 2, house number 3. So in house number 3, in house number 0 now, the longitude and latitude, longitude and latitude is referring to location, right? Those are geographic locations of a particular location. So longitude and latitude is referring to the location of that house. So minus 114.31 and 34.19, those are the longitude and latitude locations of the house, right? And then the housing median age, this is just referring to the age of the house, right? And this is in years. So the house is 15 years old. Total rooms, how many rooms are in this house? This room has 5,612 rooms. That is a lot of rooms. So you are probably thinking that this is going to be probably a public area, maybe like a mall or an hotel or something like that, right? So those are the total rooms that are in the house, which is 5,612. And then total bedrooms, 1,283. And then the population of people in the house, like the number of people that the house can hold, right? Which is 1,015. Or instead of calling this house, let me just call this buildings instead. Let's call it buildings, not houses. So, right, the population that the building can hold is 1,015. The number of households that the building can hold is 472. And then the income, I'm not particularly sure what that is referring to, because I can't make sense of what this is telling us, right? So there are also analysis that you can do to understand the data better, right? But we are going to skip that right now. So to learn more about that is also something that we have to do in a more structured class. So then the final thing that we have here is the median house value. So this is the price of the house, the value of the house. So this is the feature that we're trying to predict, right? The price of a house, that's what we are trying to predict. So it is this particular feature that we're going to use to turn our focus into, right? So we have seen some of these things. Another thing that we can also do is to find more information on the data on the data that we have in our buckets, right? So I mean, we can see this the features and the data that is inside the data itself, like data, the information that we have in data here, right? But this is not enough information for us. So you can still get more info by saying housing data dot, oh, it's housing data bucket, right? Housing data bucket dot info. So when we do this now, we can now find more information our um on our data now. So we can see that you can see more complex information here that you require more knowledge to really understand, right? So, but the main thing that I want you to focus on is the first line here, or more likely the second line here. So in second line here, it's telling us range index 17,000 entries. So this is saying that we have 17,000 data entries in this data set. No, here it started from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's going to get to 16,999. So it's starting from 0 and ending at 16,999. So that is information I've gotten from this particular info. So there are more things that we can get here, like the total number of columns, also something that we call the data type 2 of the data that's in there. For example, here now we can see that what we have here, they are numbers, right? Which is 34.9, which is a decimal number. But the correct computing term for it is float, right? So if you have something that's 34.19, the normal traditional knowledge that are useful is that it is a decimal number, which is not wrong, it is correct. But the correct term for it in computing is float, right? Which is what you are seeing here as float. So that's the data type of that particular column. So there are so many information that we can get from the data just by using that simple line of code, housing data.info, the info inside the housing data buckets, right? The information of the data that is in the housing data buckets, right? That is what that line of code is doing. Very simple. So now that we have that, we've seen what our data looks like. We've seen what our data looks like, and we've also seen information about the data. What's next now? The next thing now is to start teaching the data what what it's supposed to know, right? So um let's look at our example of primary school students again. So if you want to give a primary school student a test, the test will have or you want to give it an exam, right? The exam will have a question and an answer. The exam will have a question and an answer. Um, can I confirm if you can still see my screen? I think I'm having network issues.
No, your screen is up.
Can you still see my screen?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, all
please.
right, all right. All right, so like I was saying, so if you are giving the primary school students an exam, it will have question and answer, right? So when you are teaching the students what he's supposed to learn, you'll be telling us that okay, a family is made up of a father, mother, and the children, right? The question is what is the family? And then you've told the student that it is made up of father, mother, and children. You've given the student the question and the answer. But when it now comes to the exam time, you're only going to give the student the question, what is the family? And then the student is supposed to provide the answer, which is a family consists of father, mother, and children, right? So in our training stage, we are going to provide our model with the question and the answer. In this situation now, the question are the features that we are working with, the different features of a house, which is the income, household, population, total bedrooms, total rooms, the age, and then the location of the house, right? Those are the features of the house. Those are the things that we want the model to understand and then be able to provide the answer, which is the value of the house, the price of the house. So that's what we are going to do now. So we are going to divide our data into questions and answers. So this is not the formal term or the official term for it, right? It's not called questions and answers. They are called features and labels. But I understand that there are many of us who are coming into this with a fresh, with a novice mindset, right? You've never done any sort of programming before. never done anything in the data sphere, in the data world before. So in that case, I am going to we are going to call this, we are going to call them questions and answers. So this is going to be the training phase, right? Going to be the training phase, or also call um learning phase. So for this, we're going to do another sort of preliminary stuff like initialization stuff. We're going to bring in the let's call him the teacher, right? This is the teacher that is going to teach the model what to do. So and this teacher is called linear regression. Bring in, let's say bring in the linear regression teacher. So a little bit of jargon code here that I don't need to pay attention to. All right, so this is our teacher, right? The name of this teacher is linear regression. So linear regression is going to teach linear regression is going to sorry, linear regression is not the teacher. Linear regression is the student, right? So we're going to teach linear regression how to learn from the data and to be able to predict new data from what it has learned, right? So linear regression is our student. So we are bringing in the linear regression student. Right. So we are going to have to divide our data into questions and answers. So here we have our questions. So our questions is going to comprise of everything here, right? We need everything here except this last column. This last column, which we are regarding as our answer, right? We are going to use everything except this last column. So if you think of it logically, we want everything except this one, right? So what we can just do is just take this entire data and then just drop this last column, just throw this last column away, right? Although ideally we're not throwing it away, but let's just imagine that we are throwing it away because we for to set the questions, we need everything here except the last column. So we are going to drop this last feature away. We are going to drop it. So to do that, we're going to say housing data buckets, housing data buckets dot drop. The name of that feature is median housing value. Let me just copy it from here. Right, so that's it. And I'm going to add another thing here called axis, which is just telling me that this particular value should be dropped from columns, not from rows. Note that in our tabular data, we have rows and we have columns, right? Columns are this longitude, latitude, housing median age, total rows, and all of that. While the rows are this indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Everything that we have on this row is 0. Everything here is 0. Everything here is 0. So this axis is just saying that drop this particular data from columns and not from rows. So what this is saying is that take everything from housing data buckets, right? Take all of our data from the buckets and drop median house value. So take everything except median house value and then put it into another bucket called questions. That's what we are doing here. So that's what we have for our question. And then for our answer, so for our answers, so for the answer that we need is only this median house value, right? That is the only thing that we need. So what we are going to do is this. So I'm going to say housing data buckets dot median house value, right? So take median house value from housing data buckets and then put it inside answers. That is what this kind of code is doing. So I want median house value from inside this housing data buckets. Take that house, take the value of the house from inside the housing data bucket and then put it into another bucket called answers. So to make it more clear, let's just keep putting buckets in front of it. So this is the questions bucket, and this is the answers bucket, right? So we now have our answers buckets now. We have our questions buckets now. So now let's go and teach our students. Let's go and teach our students what it takes to price a house. So now this is the oh, this is actually the training. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do now is to call in our students and then give him a name, right? So let's call this students housing students. Oh, sorry. So let's call this students housing students. So our students now, remember that our student is linear regression, right? So we are going to bring these students in like so. Linear regression. So these are our students now. Our student's name is we've given our student a new name now. His school his matric number is housing students, right? Let's say that's his matric number, housing students, right? But his real name is linear regression, but his matric number is housing students. So in school, we are going to refer him by his matric number. So we are going to take housing students and we're not going to teach him. So to teach him, we are going to say housing students dot fit. So we're going to take our questions buckets, and then also take our answers buckets too. Answers buckets. All right. So you can see here, what we have now is housing students dot fit. So with how linear regression works, linear regression is a very interesting entity, right? And it will be something fun to really learn about. But like I said, we will need a more structured class to really learn about how linear regression works, right? So, but what we are going to do is to fit the questions and the answers, right? We are going to find the best way that these questions and answers fit into linear regression. That is why it's called fit here. That's why they use the term fit. So we're trying to find the best way these questions and answers will fit into the linear regression students to be able to best predict new answers, right? If you look at the real world, right? Students are different. Students have their different capabilities of learning. So, right, so some people might be fast learners, some people might be slow learners. So you have to cater to students differently in the way that they'll be able to learn appropriately. So for each student that you use, you have to fit it. You have to fit the questions and answers to them, and they have to find the best so that those questions and answers fit towards them. So that is what we are doing here. So now that we have our questions, we have our answers, we have given our students a matric number, which is housing students, and then we have also we've also told the students to find the best so that these questions and answers will fit the students, right? So let's run this now. So after running this, I'm getting this output here showing linear regression. So this is just showing that, okay, our student has already finished learning now. You can now question the student and see if he has learned well or not. So we're now going into the testing or exam phase now. So to do that, you still need to do another form of initialization too. Another thing that you don't need to worry about right now. So it's like we are setting the exam questions now. That is kind of what we are doing. So in fact, you can even think of this as the teacher instead. So mean squared error is our teacher. So mean squared error is going to be the examiner. Yeah, let's call it that. Mean squared error is going to be the examiner. Is one that's going to is one that's going to look through our model, look through our students to see if he actually learns well. So all right, so now let's call this student answers. Student answers. Right. So now we are going to make our model now. We're going to make it to no, the name is housing students. So we are going to make our housing students to learn to look at new exam questions that it has not seen before, right? So these were things that it was taught in class, right? The questions and answers bucket. Those are the things that it was taught in class. So now we're going to look at things that it has not seen in class and try to see if it learns anything. So I'm going to bring up the data now that's going to use to do that. All right, so I'm going to do a bit of dividing it again, just like I did for the questions and answers. So I'm going to say test questions. Even before that, test equals to. So our test data is also in the format of a CSV file. So that's why I'm bringing it in here as a CSV file too. So just like how we did for questions and answers, in fact, I can just copy this. I can just copy this, everything I have here. I can just copy it and do the same thing here, just like I did for the questions and answers. So, but instead of this, we are going to call it test question. And here the name is let's call this the test bucket. So here test bucket dot drop median housing value into test question, and then for this I'm going to call it the test answers. Same thing from the test buckets. All right, so we have set our exam questions now here. Setting the test parameters. All right, so we have set our test questions there now. So now let's see how well the students will perform now in a test that is different from what is learned in class. So so the housing students now, we are going to make it to predict new data from the test questions. From the test question, right? Predict new data from the test question. That is what this line of code is doing. So we are saying that the housing students should predict new answers. It should predict its own answers from the test question. That is what this line of code is doing, right? So with that, we're now going to bring in our examiner now, right? So let's call it the examiner. So our examiner is mean squared error. So we're going to take the student answers. We're going to take the student answers and compare it with the the test answers to see how correct the student is going to be. So the test answers, we have it here, test answers, and then the um we have the students' answers. Right. So the examiner is now going to look at the test answers and compare it with the students' answers. Now, this is also another additional step. This is a bit of maths, as I think Stella already mentioned. We do a bit of statistics in data science, so this is just a little bit of that. So initially, okay, I'm just going to explain this. Let me explain this. Let's print what the examiner is showing us. All right. So now, if you run through this now, this is after showing after running through the comparing the student answers and the test answers, right? This is what we are getting, and this huge number that we're seeing here, right? It is a factor of this median housing value. It is related to this particular housing value that we're seeing here. But if you notice that we are seeing 66,900, 80,100, it's like it's in the tens of thousands that we are seeing here. So you get kind of confused that what exactly is going on here? What is this? What does this number mean? Right? And the truth is that you can't exactly know what it means just by looking at it like this. The best way to understand mean squared error is to compare it with another student, right? So this is like a score. This is like a score that the examiner is giving the students, right? That's showing that, okay, this is the score that the students got. So if I should, if I'm an examiner now and I should give a student 60, right? You'll be confused that is this 60 over 100 or 60 over 70 or 60 over 60? Like, what exactly does this score mean, right? So if I don't tell you the overall score, you won't exactly understand what this score means. But if I tell you that, okay, um Tokwe got 60 and John got 42, right? But you know that Tokwe did better than John because Tokwe got 60, John got 42, right? 60 is higher than 42. So you know that Tokwe did better than John in this exam. So the best way to understand this examiner mean squared error is if you are comparing this with another student, right? So, but we don't have another student to compare it with right now. So we are not going to do another step right now to better understand the score of this student. So, and that is where something that we called root mean squared error comes in, right? And root mean squared error is just finding the square root of this particular number. So we're just going to do that right now. I don't want to bore you with the technicalities of how root mean squared error works, but just know that it is the square root. For those of you that want to understand, it is the square root of the root mean squared error. So that's what we are doing here. So now let us see what that is showing us. All right. Oh, sorry, is examiner. All right, so now looking at our new value now, we can now see that it is showing 69,765, right? So you can still make sense of this compared to what we had before, which is this is almost 486 billion or something, right? We can't really understand what's going on here. But with this 69,000, you can still understand that it is within the range of what the housing price is showing us, right? But even with this, we still don't know if the student did well or not, right? So you can't particularly tell if the student did well or not with this number that we're seeing here. And I'm going to show you how to understand this now, right? You can just think of this as a cheat code I'm giving to you right now. So the best way to understand this is to look at the average of our actual data. So if from our questions, right? Yeah, the questions buckets. So from the questions buckets, we're finding the average, which is also known as mean, right? Questions bucket dot mean. Oh, sorry, not questions. It should be answers buckets. All right, so we have this value here now. So when we think of error, right, in the world of mathematics or even science at large, when we think of errors, we are thinking, this is what this is supposed to be, and this is what we are getting. How far is what we are getting from what is supposed to be? That is what an error is, right? So this root mean squared error is saying that whatever this student is going to, whatever answer this student is going to give, right, it is going to be 69,765 units away from the actual answer, right? It might not be exactly that far away from the actual answer, right? But it will be within that range. It will be either it will be either it will be either forwards 69,765 steps forward from the answer, or 69,765 steps backward from the answer, or the student might be actually right and guess the perfect answer. That is what this root mean squared error is trying to tell us. So to find out how good the student did, you can look at the mean of the actual data. So if the mean of the actual data is 207,300, right? And the smaller this value is, the more perfect the student is. So compared to 207,000, right? The error is in the 69,000 range, right? Remember that this thing that we're looking at here is actually the value. It's actually the value, the housing value, the price of the house. So comparing this to this, you can see that this is way smaller compared to this 207,000 that we have here, right? So this is quite complex to wrap your head around just looking at these values singularly. But when you start to bring them together, you start to understand this more, that this is what is actually going on behind the scenes, right? In fact, most data scientists today, like 50% of data scientists today, when they think of this root mean squared error, they don't really pair it with the average of the actual value that they are looking at, right? They don't usually do that. So this is something that most data scientists don't do, right? But I'm showing to you now that this is what you're actually supposed to do. So this is the best way to actually understand what this value is actually doing. So let me do a bit of wrap up of what we have been doing so far. So the first thing that we had to do was to bring in our data, right? The data that we're going to use to train our model to better understand what the data is saying, to be able to predict new values. After bringing in our data, we now had a sort of preview of the data, right? What exactly is inside this data that we're looking at? So we saw the different features of the data, right? The different features of the houses inside this data, the longitude, latitude, the age, number of rooms, and all of that. We also saw some more technical information of the data too, like the number of data entries inside this, number of rows, and data types, and all of that. Then we also looked at the students that we're going to train um for this particular endeavor that we're going into, right? Which is called linear regression, right? Then we created the questions and the answers that we're going to use to teach these students. After creating the question and answers, and then after successfully teaching the students, we now created the exam questions that we're going to use to test the students to see if he actually learned well, right? And after doing that, we also created a way to score the students. And I also explained how you can better understand this score to see if the student is doing well or not, right? So I mean, if you remember from primary school when we're learning about machines, right? The thing is that no machine can ever be 100% efficient, right? So there is no way that your students will always predict the perfect price that that house is supposed to be, right? There's no way your students will always predict that. So that is why we are looking at what the student got in this particular term. So this what we just did now is what is called is also called a regression task in data science. There's something else that we call classification tasks. So for classification tasks, that'd be easier to say that okay, this student is 100% perfect, or this student is 99% perfect, right? But for this task that we're dealing with, which is a regression task, we can't put that kind of black and white view on it, right? That's why we have to be more understanding of what exactly the student is saying. Right, so that we've come to the end of this coding session for data science, and I think we have a question and answer session. So is that going to be right now, or we have a special session for
Yes,
that?
yes, it's right now. It's right now. Our time is up already. Please, can we give it up for Toba, please? Let's celebrate Toba. It's been an amazing 1 hour with him. Hello, everybody. Just say send. Yes, yes. Please, if you were able to code something, if you're able to do something, it doesn't have to be complete or perfect. This is just how many lines of code. Just take a screenshot and share. Right? Take a screenshot and share in the comment section. Wow, this is impressive. Well done. Thank you so much, Toba. Thank you for that interesting session. All right. So right now we're going to go straight into question and answer session. If you have questions, it's already 2, right? I didn't know we are going to stay here up till beyond 2 p.m. rather, but we are here already. So if you have questions, do well to ask your questions right now. You can indicate by raising your hand. So if your hand is raised, I want to assume that you're asking a question. But if you're not asking a question, please put down your hand. So I can see Joseph's hand raised. Hi, Joseph. Do you have a question? Let me unmute you so you can speak. I think you can speak. Joseph, can you?
Yeah, I can speak now. I've allowed this mic.
Yes, yes.
So
All right,
Joseph, you
so
can
just
unmute.
unmute from your end and speak. And somebody else also has a question. Oluwatosin. Okay, if he's not speaking up, Oluwatosin. Okay, just unmute. With Olukemi. Yes, your mics are activated now. Okay, so just go on and say something. Ask your question. Thank you. There are no questions in the chat.
It's Olukemi.
All right, Olukemi, go on.
Yes, please. I just want to know, is there a way we can determine what programming language to use for what task? Or let me just ask the question this way. What programming language can we use for machine learning?
Okay,
Yes, is that
All
for
right.
okay, go on.
Okay. Thank you. So in when we are dealing with data science, like I said, Python is the best programming language that we use for data science. There are other languages that are actually used for it. There's R, there's a programming language called R, there's another one called Go that was made by Google. I think there's another one called Ruby too that is also used in data science,
Ruby on
right?
Rails,
But each of
right?
these, yes,
Mm.
Ruby on Rails. So each of these programming languages, they have their own caveats and things that make it a little bit
Limitations.
inconvenient to use for data science, right? But Python is the tested and trusted one. It has been in use in the field of data science for more than 10, 15 years now, right? People have been working on data science, this particular language already. The other languages like Go and R and all of those ones I mentioned, right? They are more newer to the market, right? They don't have the community behind them. If you run into a problem, right? If you run into a problem in
I
Python,
get support.
it is almost certain that somebody else has also run into that problem before. And if you just check online, you'll be able to find solutions to that problem already. So, but in languages like Go or R, like it is less likely. I mean, it's not impossible that you find answers, right? But it is less likely for you to find answers easily to any doubts or errors that you may have in your code, right? And there are so many other reasons why Python is one of the most common languages used in data science, right? So, but when you are working with your when you are working in data science, it is best to stick to one language and keep doing that language until like you're already good with that language. Don't just start doing Python and then maybe you heard someone that your friend is doing R. So you now switch to R while you're still doing Python. And then now inside one news article that people are going into Go now. You leave R, then you jump into Go and start learning Go. No, that's not the best way to do things, right? So it is best to start with Python, which is already trusted, tested and trusted already. And that is language that when you want to go into the work field, that is the language that most recruiters, most companies are looking for, right? So that's why Python is also best language to work with.
Thank you so much for the
Okay, one
explanation,
more.
Toba. Yes,
Thank you so
Kemi.
much. Yes. Does that mean Python can solve most of these tasks or all of these tasks? Any task at all?
That relates to
I'm not
data
particularly sure what
science and
task you
machine
are
learning.
referring to.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're referring to everything that we need to do in when it relates to machine learning and data science, right? Yes, Python is going to help you do everything that you need to do in that particular aspect. Does that answer your question?
Well, not really, because there are some, okay, like those of us in sciences, we want to do some statistical stuff and all of that. Can we use
Yes,
Python to solve that? Yes, PSS and
definitely,
co.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Data science in itself is the root of data science is statistics, right? Even being that we have some algorithms and all of that, and all these things we call models and all of those things, right? But in the root sense of it, it all stems from statistics. If you are a statistics student, when I mentioned the roots mean squared error and mean squared error, you should your those terms should already be ringing bells in your head. Even linear regression, the term linear regression should be ringing bells in your head already, right? Those are statistical terms that are used when it comes to doing some statistics already, right? So Python is going to help you to do that. And also, another cool thing about Python is also the libraries that we have in it. So those libraries, they expand what Python can do natively, right? The people that made Python, they created it with some capability that it can do on its own, right? But anybody can create new libraries and create new functions that they want that they intend to do with Python, right? So that's another beauty of Python. So for example, in your world of statistics, there are people that have thought that okay, there's somebody that needs to find average, to find standard deviation inside data, right? Let us create a function that can be used to do that in Python. There's a thing that they usually say in the programming world that anything you want to do, there's a library for that. Like you can just think of anything that you would want to do right now, and there's almost going to be a library for it. So whatever field you are going to be in, and Python is going to be applicable in that field. in the field of web development, um, sciences, um, business, whatever. Python is going to be very applicable to you in that field. So Python is a very vast language. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you
So
so
do you
much, Laura.
understand?
I think that answers her question.
All right.
Olukemi, I think that answers her question. To throw more light to it, right? Most of the things you'll be encountering in machine learning are more like will I say, simpler approaches to data science, to statistics. So if, like you said, you're into statistics as the rest, you have known about, like you said, mean square errors. That has to do with line of best fit, correlation, regression, and all of those things, right? In statistics, you would have been taught the brick and mortar approach of, using tables upon tables upon tables, calculating, doing those manual calculations, all those things you calculate manually in statistics class, autocorrelation, heteroscedasticity, all those things to calculate. Now, what Python could help you do, right, is to help you at the end of the day generate those outputs. So your statistics or your research knowledge, what it does for you is to help you interpret those outputs more efficiently than somebody who did not really have um, a statistics background. So you have a statistics background, you have higher advantage with machine learning. Do you understand? Because of course you're not here to do the x square minus sigma square plus this dash that something. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Now all those formulas behind that you work on, right? Something hat minus this, all those things. I don't want to pick a particular formula now, right? Those what we call them those statistics, right? Now the system helps you. You can use Python or any application like the low code aspect, generate those output, the result. The same thing when you use eViews or Stata, right? SPSS, yes, SPSS to some extent if you're doing primary research. Those output, those results you get, even if you use SPSS, for instance, and you do descriptive statistics, right? It's going to give you mean, median, mode. It's going to give you some descriptive data, right? Skewness, skewed sources sometimes, correlation coefficients, Pearson, all those things, right? Python can give you all those, but the difference is you now applying your field knowledge to interpret the result. Do you understand? So that is just what Toba is
Yes.
trying to say. Okay.
Thank you. You
All
just
right.
took away a huge burden off my mind
Okay.
so
So
that now
any
I
other
can learn
question?
program as well.
What did you say?
You just
Your
took
line
a
was
huge burden out of my mind. I thought I would have to learn our programming alongside Python and the rest.
no, no, no. Just one is okay. Python is okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Gwenga, do you have a question? Your hand is raised. And Olutosin. Okay, let's take Oluwatosin. Hi, Tosin. Your hand has been raised for some time. Just unmute and talk.
Good afternoon.
Good
Are you hearing
afternoon.
me?
Is it Oluwatosin or Oluwatosin?
What to see? It's you,
Oluwatosin.
not
Okay.
O. Thank you.
Eh?
It's you,
Okay.
not O.
Okay,
What
Oluwatosin.
to see?
Oh,
To see.
amazing. Amazing. All right, please go
Uh,
on.
my question simply is, I came in just at the end, at the time that's when I was able to download the unit and get connected.
Okay.
When you are that was not showing the right.
Oh, we are not. Can you
Now,
please speak louder? We're not really hearing you well. You said you came
yes,
in.
I said
It's
I said
better.
I came in late because of
Okay.
network and downloading the app. Now, my question is that
Okay.
is there any the system here said that this session is being recorded? are we going to be
Yes.
entitled to have that report if we want to listen again for those of us who unfortunately came late?
Yeah. So as long as you registered, right? That is part of why we push for registration. If you register, it means that you got email notification, right? It means that we can still send you that. If you didn't register and maybe you just joined the link, right? It means that we don't have your email where we can send it to you. Did you register, sir?
I got here through the link you sent to me on my email.
Okay,
I
yes,
read.
on your email. That means we have your, so on that same email, you're going to get the link to the recording.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right. All right. Okay, so that's great. Anyone else? Wenka, please go on with your question. Please go on with your question. No, you're okay. Apologies. I thought you had access. All right, you can now unmute.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this time and opportunity. Can you hear me? Please confirm.
Yes, please. We can hear you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Stella and team. Okay, so my questions are around there. I want to also start from where that lady stopped. You mentioned that there are some statistical tools. Anyway, I know that the training may be deeper than this, which of course I'm sure. But I want to find out for people not in statistics and some other statistical courses or background. So is the training going to be breakdown into a similar, because we need to also understand the fundamentals before you can also start saying, oh, we want to start getting into deep programming, and because for the reason of the cost. So that's number one. That is it going to go into a simpler unit? Is it going to go down to the fundamentals? Not that maybe when we go into the training, I'll start from iPad and it become a problem to understand the programming language and some other machine learning tools. So that's number one. So number two is that during the first presentation,
You have number
so there was
two.
yes, sorry. So during the first presentation, there was when we were going through the slide, and even that even be in my mind that, oh, apart from this Python and machine learning, is there any other to like visualization to like Power BI or maybe Tableau or probably even the SQL that was not stated, that it wasn't stated as part of this training? That is it that it was silent that is going to be part of it, or probably it's not going to be part of the training? So those are my two concerns. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much for, sharing your concern. I think it's going to be valuable to everybody. All right. So to start with, the training is 8 weeks, right? What you got here for 3 hours is just a tip of an iceberg. It's just for you to experience what learning at Kedrus Academy is like. Some people already do, right? There are some people here that are past students, right? And of course, there were a lot of people that have not attended any of our trainings before now, right? So what we gave you is really nothing compared to what we have in store for you. So the truth is that is encompassing, and based on your first question also, right? It is beginner friendly. We understand that people are starting out as data scientists. Okay, so and that is why we have a mix of the coding and the no coding aspect. You're going to have the coding and the no coding aspect in the bootcamp, right? And the theoretical aspect also where you learn these things. So she asked because she had a statistics background, which is an advantage for her, right? She may not really need to learn all those things again, but even though it's still going to be taught, right? Especially interpreting results, test result and statistics output. Yes, we do a good job with that, such that everybody is carried along. But it's of course it's her advantage that she has studied statistics or computer science in fact some people that done computer science don't have the advantage she has. Part of the reason why it was I enjoyed, not that there are no people, a lot of people just start, they don't have that background, but why I had the flair for machine learning personally was my econometrics experience, right? With a lot of, so imagine that I was taught something in school, in the university, that was so complex, and then I see that it is really applicable in real life. That is my advantage now. That is like the advantage that Oluwakemi has. Do you understand? Yes, other people are coming to know it for the first time, but I just have that advantage, which she has. Do you get? But you're still going to learn it. Now, the boot camp is going to bring you up to speed, okay, so that you be able to learn those things and be able to practice. But imagine you, somebody who is just coming into tech to learn programming, and someone who studied programming in university already coming out to now take on some, it's a different thing. So it's just a plus for her. It doesn't mean that you're not going to learn that. That is one. Now there are some other applications, right? Yes. Python, Power BI, Tableau, that is data analysis. We have two different boot camps. We have the data analysis boot camp and the data science boot camp. In our data analysis boot camp, right, we make it very beginner friendly and we don't do a lot of programming. That's why we don't even have Python in it. What we have in it is SQL. You have SQL, you have advanced Excel, Tableau, and Power BI, right? And at the end of that one, you can become a data analyst, business intelligence analyst, and a whole lot of roles that has to do with data analysis across different industries. That is for our data analysis bootcamp. And we have one more of that bootcamp in November. Now, for our data science bootcamp, which is happening in September, right? It is purely Python, okay, Python and low code. And the low code now is not just machine learning. It's not just teachable machine, right? There are some other platform like Data IQ, like Nine, Azure. There are so many other platforms that we are still going to share with you, right? That you're going to learn. They are they're a lot more complex, but you're going to learn it in such a way that it's going to be one of the things that, well, for people that are students here, that are current students and alumni, one of the reasons why they keep coming back is because no matter how complex a concept is out there in the world, they come to Kedrus Academy and it's made so simple. Okay, they're able to solve complex problems in a very simple way. So we've been able to find out, work around, work our model, our training delivery in such a way that whatever difficulty you might think there is really nothing, right? It's something that you can really have a walkover. In fact, at the end of the day, you'll be asked, okay, is data science all this or there's more, because it will be that simple for you. I hope you understand that. So there is more. There is no Power BI or Tableau here. No, that is for data analysis. What you're getting from this bootcamp from data science is Python, data science and machine learning with Python, data science and machine learning with data IQ or data IQ, data science and machine learning with NIME, right? Azure Cloud, data science, auto ML in Azure. So those are the things you're getting from our data science bootcamp. And you can't have it anywhere here in Nigeria. Like I said before, it's not bragging, right? If you're looking for anywhere that you get something close to that, excluding the Python, something close to that anywhere in the world, think of it. It's just about $2,000. Yes. But you're getting it here for 150K. And if you take action in the next 48 hours, you get 20K discount. That's just it. Right. So that is that for it. So I hope that answers your question, Winga.
Yes, Stella, thank you.
Awesome. So Joseph's hand has been raised since. I don't know if he really wants to say something. Hi, Joseph, are you here? Are there more questions? Are there more questions? Okay. Okay, so in the absence of any more questions, would like to take your feedback. We're going to send you a feedback form immediately after this. Be on the lookout for our email. We're going to get send you a feedback form. You'll fill it immediately after this. You can even drop your feedback here in chat. How was the training for you? Is it what your okay? Let me even ask. Is it what your 2 hours plus? This is 2 hours 20 something minutes. Is it worth that time? No, 3 hours 20 something minutes. The time you've shared with us today, is it worth it? If it's worth it, please wave or react. Share a heart, thumb up, share us some love, clap for the team, laugh, do something, right? If it is worth your time, if it is worth your time, just share what your experience is with us. If it is worth your time. I know that we've given so much value here today, but of course, because we have a philosophy at Kedrus Academy to always over deliver, right? To always give you much, much more than you expect in any of our programs and our boot camps, right? It's not that we wouldn't have said, okay, pay some money for this, right? We know the worth of what you got, and we know that it's worth it, but then it's good to always give value. So just share your feedback with us, and then we'll appreciate that. Thank you so much for spending your time here with us today. We do not take it for granted. Thank you so much. We'll be ending the recording right now. And let me stop the recording first. Okay.